rooftop, eyes fixed, heart steady. Without hesitation, she jumped. But instead of falling to her death, something remarkable happened. She vanished. Moments later, Mina reappeared on a quiet beach, the salty air of the ocean filling her lungs. She had teleported 50 kilometers away, her farthest jump yet. Mina used her teleportation to enter her bathroom. Her mother, hearing the water, asked when she had come home and whether she was trying to scare her. Mina calmly explained she had stepped out for fresh air and to see the ocean. Her mother reminded her that dinner awaited and that the anniversary of her father's death was approaching. A wound still fresh, still unhealed. Her mind drifted back to that fateful day when her father was brutally stabbed. Her mother had screamed, desperate to see the killer's face. But all Mina could remember was the feeling of helplessness. Her resolve steeled, Mina returned to the rooftop. Her test continued. Teleportation was no simple matter. She counted the cooldown 1 to 2 seconds between jumps. She measured her limits. 24 consecutive teleports drained her stamina. One rule was crystal clear: never overlap with solid objects. The consequences were too painful. Another goal beckoned: how far could she teleport in one bound? Driven by both fear and curiosity, Mina attempted to teleport into a bank vault. For a split second, her eyes caught the gleam of 5 billion won. But reality came crashing back. Such reckless behavior was a fool's game. The authorities, or worse, criminal organizations, would quickly take notice. Stealing was out of the question. The next morning, Mina walked to school, weighed down by the burden of her secret. Her teleportation was not for convenience. A luxury car cut through the crowd. In the back seat, Lua, the heiress of the Ili group, smirked, a symbol of privilege and cruelty. To Mina, Lua represented everything she could never have. Born rich, born untouchable. At school, Mina's thoughts wandered. Her power could only serve two purposes: steal or travel for free. Neither seemed worth the risk. During lunch break, Mina escaped to the gym. She teleported into the sky, marveling at the world's beauty from above. Then her attention shifted to a group outside, the bullies. Chan He, a timid boy, was the target. Lua led her gang, Junwoo, Jihan and Yura, forcing Chan He to wear lipstick, spray water on him and parade him like a joke. They boasted their cosmetic brand was so exclusive that Chan He became their unwilling ambassador. Mina recognized Lua from the luxury car. Her instinct was to leave. Getting involved was too risky. But Lua had other plans. She singled Mina out, slapping her hard. "Where are your manners?" Lua taunted. "Politeness matters," she added with a cruel grin. Mina remained silent, suppressing rage. Lua escalated her cruelty. She mocked Mina for being fatherless, revealing the tragic news that her cop father had been stabbed to death during a bar fight. No one else in the school knew. "I'm the reason you act tough," Lua sneered. Another slap. Then a humiliating kick, followed by money thrown at Mina. "Buy new glasses, beggar," Lua said as she walked away. Mina and Chan He were told to stay after school, to be taken somewhere nice. But Mina had other ideas. She grabbed Lua, teleporting them above the ocean. Lua screamed, flailing. Mina's voice was cold, detached. "I told you to stop." Without hesitation, Lua was dropped into the sea. Mina returned to school, leaving Lua struggling in the water. Jihan was shocked to see only Mina and Chan He remain behind him, and Lua was nowhere to be seen. Her smile was slight but knowing. A memory surfaced. Young Mina, tears in her eyes, holding a knife. Her dog Dory lay dead at her feet. She had punished Dory for killing her rabbit, Sena. In the present, guilt gnawed at Mina's core. Had she killed Lua? And worse, had Chan He seen? Jun slapped Chan He, demanding Lua's whereabouts. Jihan tried to stop him but failed. Chan He's face turned blue from pressure. Mina considered teleporting them all like Lua, but restrain herself. Revealing her power now would only expose her guilt. A teacher intervened. He asked what was happening. Jihan lied, claiming Chan He had merely fallen. Teacher said, "Stop lying. His face is bleeding. I cannot just let this go." The bullies stared at the teacher. Suddenly the teacher's face paled. Jihan said, "Mr. Jung Ho, I told you it is nothing. Why are you making a fuss?" Mina was puzzled. Jihan continued, "Let me ask you, when are you going to pay back my 50 million won?" Mina remembers rumors that the teacher lost everything in crypto. The teacher asks where Lua is. Her grandmother called the school, saying she could not reach her. Jihan said, "You should have told us that first. We do not know where she is either. That is why we are looking. Why don't you help us instead?" The chairman is worried. Jihan took the opportunity to twist the narrative, demanding the teacher find Lua first, offering to reduce his debt if successful. He noted something was off. June barked orders, demanding Mina and Chan He find Lua and report back without raising suspicion. Mina's guilt deepened. She told herself Lua might already be dead. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, A man stood over a terrified victim begging for mercy. "I'll pay any amount," the man pleaded, but the killer remained unmoved. Payment had already been made. "It is done," he said into the phone. "I'm heading out early today. My daughter's birthday," he added. His attempt to reach Lua failed. "I'll never be a good father," he thought. Back in Korea, silence reigned. 2 days passed since Lua vanished. No uproar, no media frenzy. Only Mina's mounting suspicion. At school, Yura worried aloud. No one knew what happened to Lua. Jihan told her to shut up and try contacting other places. If they didn't find Lua, they would all die. Jun came from behind and asked him that if he was talking to his brother. Jihan demanded to know if he had found Lua. Jun broke down crying. He said he couldn't find Lua anywhere. He had beaten up everyone he met, but no one knew where she was. His brother kept calling him and threatening to kill him if Lua was not found quickly. Jihan accused Jun of abandoning them. Jun replied coldly that he hung out with them only because he had a crush on Lua. He did not want to clean up their mess now that she was gone. Yura threatened Joan. She showed photos on her phone of Joan abusing girls at the club, drugging them, and having his fun in another classroom. Mina felt the back of her neck itch. She never cared who watched her until now. Could it be Yoon Chan-hee saw what she did? She panicked. Lua was the heir to the Illy group. If word got out that Mina was involved, she would not escape easily. Mina invited him to a PC cafe, not to protect but to control. At the same time, in the Philippines, a woman informed Lua's father that the cleanup was complete. The target would be reported as killed by rival gangs. Lua's father found it strange that Lua had no updates on Instagram for 2 days. Her phone suddenly turned off yesterday. Suddenly he realized they were being followed. He broke the signal and turned quickly into an alley. 2 white vans blocked his car, but it was abandoned. The men in the van ordered their team to search for him. Lua's father jumped from above. He attacked one man with a knee to the neck, threw another over his shoulder. One man pointed a gun towards him. But the woman appeared behind him and ordered him to drop his gun and kneel. He kicked the leader of the attackers in the face. The men identified him as Lee Sahayon. They said they were following the chairwoman's orders to escort him back to Korea. The chairwoman was revealed to be the Lee Suayon mother-in-law. The man explained that the young lady Lee Lua had disappeared. Back at the PC cafe, the Illy group announced restructuring. No mention of Lua. The cover-up was meticulous. How could the chairwoman be so calm when her granddaughter was missing? Chan-hee asked if Mina had looked for Lua after Jahan told them to. Mina insulted him, calling him a loser. He replied that he was worried because now they were both on the radar. Mina said she didn't care about trash like them. She decided to keep an eye on him to see if he really saw what happened or would spread it around. Mina told Chan-hee to stay with her from now on. A naive kid like him would get robbed again if alone. Chan-hee refused and ran away, claiming it was better this way. He wanted to handle the situation by himself. Suddenly, a breaking news alert appeared on PC. According to citizen reports, a knife rampage was happening right in front of the PC cafe. Mina's thoughts immediately went to Chan-hee. Outside, a man was waving a knife at civilians, shouting that they were all in it together. He attacked anyone in his way. Chan-hee came out of the cafe and saw a woman hurt. He picked her up and asked if she was okay. The rampaging man claimed everyone was involved in some nonsense only he understood. He attacked Chan-hee. Mina stood on the edge of the building looking down at the attacker and Chan-hee. She thought to herself, why wasn't he running away? Then a darker thought crossed her mind. If Chan-hee died, wouldn't that be lucky for her? She remembered how Lua once mocked her about her father being stabbed on by a drunk man. With no more hesitation, Mina jumped down and pinned the attacker to the ground, saving Chan-hee. The crowd around them murmured in confusion. The attacker shouted to let him go. Mina thought, I made it in time, what should I do now? Then Chan-hee shouted, watch out. The attacker used all his strength to attack Mina with a knife aimed at her head. Before the knife could hit her, Mina teleported him into the sky. Shocked bystanders watched in disbelief. She thought to herself, I didn't think and just teleported up here. I need to get somewhere without people. But the attacker did not stay still. He attacked again. Mina let him go because his knife cut her hand. The man began to fall, but a memory struck Mina. How the man with the knife killed her father. Her thoughts returned to the dead dog. She simply stared at him as he fell to the ground and died. The crowd surrounded the attacker. They wondered if he was dead. Mina landed on a car and thought to herself that she had killed again. No way, I killed someone again. A smile appeared on her face. Meanwhile, a news reporter said a random stabbing incident occurred in front of an internet cafe. 4 people were injured but none were in danger. The suspect was identified as Mr. Yoon, who died at the scene. Many questions remained. A witness said someone suddenly fell from the sky and landed on the suspect. Then both of them vanished. Another said they recorded everything. The news channel edited out the shocking parts. The footage showed the moment when Chan-hee was about to be stabbed and how Mina appeared and vanished within a second. Someone was watching that broadcast played while playing golf. He said weird stuff was happening. A murderer falls from the sky and the granddaughter of the Il-hee group disappeared. Because of that, rumors of liquidation spread. He asked who started those rumors. He was with his man and bullies. Jin, Yura and Jihan. He asked, do you know why I invested in brats like you? Was it because of his stupid little brother? No. Who runs a business like that? The granddaughter of the Il-hee group is the first successor. I invested because I trusted Lua. I thought she would run a legitimate business. A bodyguard grabbed Jihan and pinned him down. Another grabbed Yura. Jun's brother said he always wanted to try what bosses do in gangster movies. Jihan said he could recover everything, but the brother pressed a golf ball against Jihan's ear and used him as a golf pin. They all stood shocked. The brothers' squad added that at least 5 billion won was involved. Jihan said Lua handled many businesses. If they ran them right, they could recover everything. Meanwhile, Mina looked at the blood on the ground behind the police line. She thought this was bad. She had left her bag and everything back at the cafe. She could not teleport because she wasn't familiar with the place. Chan-hee called her. This is your back, he said. Mina said thanks. He said I grabbed it before they locked the place. Mina said you didn't have to go that far. You're just born to become an errand boy. Chan-hee remained silent. She looked at him and said sorry, that was my mistake. He said it was fine, but how did you do that? The words stopped her. She looked back at Chan-hee. Mina replied coldly, I have no idea what you are talking about, and walked away. He followed her. She asked, why do you keep following me? Chan-hee said, your hand, is it okay? You got hurt earlier. When you caught the murderer, it was you, right? Just like with Lua. Mina thought to herself, so he did see me. What do I do now? If he starts talking about it, no one would believe something like this. Even if I leave him be. But the weapon? The knife with my blood. The police must have it as evidence. The only person who can link me to it is Chan-hee. She looked at him coldly and said, so what are you going to do about it? Yeah, I did kill them both. But weren't they just trash anyway? Mina continued. More importantly, do you realize how stupid you are, Chan-hee? You're standing in front of a murderer and shouting you saw everything. She grabbed his shirt and stared directly into his eyes. Then she started laughing. That's hilarious. I would never kill you. I can't kill you. With that, she began walking away. If I really were a murderer, you'd already be dead. While running, she thought, that was close. I almost killed him. Suddenly, Chan-hee shouted from behind, thank you for saving me twice from Lua and from the attacker. Mina stopped, looked back at him, said coldly, that never happened, before running away. As she ran, she thought, what the hell is this feeling? Far away at the beach, 2 kids were playing. They suddenly noticed a body washed up on the shore. It was Lua. Meanwhile, Jihan and Yura were talking. Jihan said, that bastard Wang Jonsung. I thought my ear would fall off. Yura asked, does it hurt a lot? Jihan replied, like a golf club hitting my head. Yura continued, anyway, what are you going to do about the 5 billion? Jihan remembered what Wang had told him. You have a week to get the full 5 billion ready. If even one is missing, I'll squeeze every last drop of your blood and sell it. Jihan thought, it was Lua who convinced me to invest in crypto and ran off with my wallet. Why the hell am I the one getting screwed? Joan could have bought me time, but he just snitched straight away. Jihan asked Yura, didn't you say you had lots of pictures of him messing with girls? Wouldn't that work on him? Yura said, Joan did his best. Don't tell me, did you make a deal behind my back? Jihan shouted, forget it, screw you all. Then June entered the room. Don't waste good liquor and chill. Jahan looked at him angrily. Jun continued, my brother told me to keep you guys in check, especially you, Jahan. That 5 billion profile or whatever. He wants it now. Jahan snapped, it's called a portfolio, you dumbass. If I hand over the plan to make 5 billion, your brother gets rich and I get screwed over. June asked sharply, what did you just say? Jahan replied, you do realize this all started because Lua disappeared, right? If we find her, we can fix this. You want to see her again, don't you? Joan said, well yeah. Yura added, but who knows when she'll come back. She's always been a spoiled princess, but this time she went too far. She's not dead, so she will come back for sure. But we can't afford to wait. Jahan ordered Joan, use every guy under you, check every club, every bar. With her personality, she will show up sooner or later. Jun ran off determined. I will find Lua no matter what. Yura says didn't he was supposed to be keep an eye on us. Jihan sighed, he's an idiot. Then said to Yura, call every girl in your contact. Lua's stash of drugs. We need to sell it. Meanwhile, the news was still broadcasting the story about the attacker who was killed in front of the PC cafe. Witnesses talked about how the person in the hoodie stopped the attacker and saved people's lives. Mina saw this on her phone and thought, this is what I'm supposed to do. I get it now. A small smile appeared on her face. Elsewhere, the same news played in a car. A woman said, finally back in Korea. What a mess this place has become. Behind her sits Lua's father. Later, his mother-in-law arrived with a group of men to meet him. Then she began to cry. A flashback from the past revealed Lee Soo-hyun's tragic memory. When he was in the military, he saw his wife, Lee Ji-young, dead in front of him. His mother-in-law coldly told him, a man's duty is to fight, hunt, and protect his territory for his mate and offspring. Nothing comes before a man's primal duty. She brought his daughter forward and said, when you took my daughter, I expected you to fulfill your role as a man. Lee Soo-hyun, this child's name is Lee Lua, the heir of Illy Group. A child born to my daughter, unrelated to trash like you. Her voice was filled with contempt. Where were you when your wife was dying, Lee Soo-han? You are lower than scum. Back in the present, Lee Soo-han looked at his daughter lying motionless in front of him and said, it has been 16 years since we first met. From the moment you were born to your final moment, I was never there for you. His mother-in-law walked in and said coldly, I didn't call you because you are her father. As far as I know, you are the world's greatest murderer. Find the one who did this to her and bring me their head. Lee Soo-hyun answered with determination, I am not your subordinate. What I am about to do now is try to be a father for the first time. Tears streamed down his face. It's been 5 days since Lua went missing. At school, students whispered about why she hadn't shown up lately. Did she study abroad? Her family is filthy rich. Even the kids who used to hang out with her stopped coming. Hope she just dropped dead somewhere. Mina smiled to herself. I killed 2 people, a crime that can never be forgiven. Yet everyone looks so happy. Chan-hee called her from behind with a cheerful tone. Mina thought, here is another person whose face brightened up. Must be because she is gone. She smiled to herself and said coldly, stop acting like we know each other. Chan-hee asked why. Mina replied, didn't you call me a murderer? Aren't you scared? Chan-hee answered, I never said that. Yesterday, I just thanked you. I wanted to return the favor for helping me. He said, it doesn't have to be anything big. I just want to help. Mina replied, a can of black coffee. I didn't get any sleep last night. My head's all foggy. If I had coffee, I'd feel better. He asked, that's really all you want? She said, if you don't want to, then forget it, and began walking away. But Chan-hee smiled brightly and said, I'll go buy it right now. Mina thought, guess being an Iran boy suits him. He happily bought coffee, while returning back to her. Jihan and June stopped him. Jihan said, long time no see. Coffee is just what I needed. He took the can from Chan-hee and asked, have you looked for Lua? Chan-hee replied, I have no clue where to start. Jihan sneered, so you haven't even tried? Let's talk somewhere else. Without warning, Joan grabbed Chan-hee and started beating him up on the terrace. You could at least pretend to be looking. Where is Mina? She was supposed to help. Chan-hee said, don't know. You can look for her yourself. Jan replied, what was that? My ears must be clogged. I can't hear well. Chan-hee repeated, you can go look for her yourself. June kicked him in the gut. Jihan said, why make life harder for yourself? If you don't look for her, you'll be stuck with us forever. Chan-hee shot back, without Lua, you're nothing. Jihan said, I was going to let it slide since you bought me coffee, then ordered Joan, strip this bastard. June started pulling Chan-hee's clothes. Just then, Yura called to Jihan, it's exactly like you said. I found a warehouse using the number Lua left behind. But it's no joke. I don't know if there's any drugs inside. Why is it so loud over there? Jihan said, hang on a second. Don't hang up. He commanded June to film Chan-hee from every angle and walked away, June taking out his brother anger on Chan-hee mercilessly. Mina shouted, demanding him to stop. June sneered at Mina and said, did you come here to get beaten up too? Or did you actually find Lua? Otherwise you will die by my hand. Mina's face remained devoid of any worry. How many people has he trampled on to live like this, she thought. June shouted, hey, are you even listening? Mina calmly replied, that's because no one has ever punished you. Before June could respond, he was suddenly teleported into the sky. Mina said coldly, from now on, I am going to give you a punishment you've never received before. June fell to the ground. his leg snapping painfully. "Jun, what an overreaction for a broken leg," he yelled. "Where am I?" Mina teleported from front to back. Jun turned around, confused. "How?" Mina teleported again and said, "The construction company went bankrupt, so this apartment was abandoned mid-construction. But I think it's the perfect place for you to reflect on your sin." She stepped forward and pressed her foot onto his broken leg. Joan screamed in pain. Mina said, "I'm giving you a chance right now. If you repent and promise to leave this life behind forever, I will let you go." "You're talking nonsense," he shouted, trying to grab her leg. But she teleported him and threw him back onto the ground, his head hitting hard. "I can't understand people like you," Mina said. "Why do you live so recklessly? Is there no brain in your head? You are the real brainless one here. Do you even know who my older brother is?" Joan sneered. Mina grabbed him by the collar and said, "A foolish and wicked man." She teleported him into the sky and dropped him repeatedly until he was completely broken. She asked again, "How about now? Are you finally coming to your senses?" Joan replied weakly, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." Mina bent towards his face and said, "Good. That's where it starts. Apologize, Chan-hee, not me." Jin begged, "Please let me leave. I will do anything you say." Mina coldly replied, "You still don't get it. Repentance is just words." Enraged, Joan grabbed a stone and attacked her. Mina said, "You are hopeless," and teleported him again. This time, much higher from the ground. Back at the school, Jihan was still on the phone. "Call the others. We need to turn the drugs into cash." When he returned to the school terrace, Jun was nowhere to be found. Only Chan-hee lay motionless on the floor. Jihan said, "Wake up, you fool. Where is Joan?" Suddenly, Joan fell from above, landing between Jihan and Chan-hee. Chan-hee screamed in shock and thought, could it be? That's when he saw Mina standing at a distance. She smiled faintly and teleported. Elsewhere, a woman held a photo of Jihan, Joan and Yura. She said, "I guess I'll start with these three." Lee Soo-hyun, Lua's father, said coldly, "They are the ones who appeared the most on Lua's Instagram." The woman, now revealed as Won Hari, asked, "Didn't the chairman already take care of them?" Lee Soo-hyun replied, "Those three aren't the culprit. A student at school suddenly ended up 50 kilometers away in the ocean. There's no way high school kids could do that." He continued, "I may be her father, but I know nothing about Lua, not even the most basic things. Those three know the most about her." Won Hari thought to herself, a senior turned revenant for his daughter. "I know this is wrong, but this is my chance to fill the cracks in his wounded heart. I will make sure to fill them completely." They both returned to the school, where the police and an ambulance had already arrived. Lee Soo-hyun asked a student, "Did something happen at the school?" "It was Mina," she calmly replied. "There was an accident. Someone fell and died." He didn't know that he was talking to his daughter's killer. Lee Soo-hyun, Lua's father, watched Mina as she walked away. His eyes remained fixed on her. Won Hari asked, "What's wrong? Why are you staring at her like that?" Lee Soo-hyun replied, "It's nothing. It's just that Lua was around this kid's age." At the principal's office, the principal asked, "So, you are from the Illy Group's secretary office, right?" Won Hari answered, "Yes. The chairman instructed me to confirm a few things. I also requested a meeting with Lua's homeroom teacher." Both the principal and the homeroom teacher sat in front of her. The homeroom teacher introduced himself. "Hello, I am An Jong-ho." The principal asked, "Who is the person standing behind you?" Won Hari said, "Do I need to tell you?" An Jong-ho replied, "No need." Won Hari continued, "I heard a student died here today. By any chance, is that student connected to any of these three?" The principal and the teacher looked shocked. It was Hwang Jun-woo. He was found dead on the rooftop today. Lee Soo-hyun stepped forward and asked, "You are Lua's homeroom teacher, right? Tell me everything about her school life. I want every detail." Meanwhile, at a warehouse, Yura was trying to call Jihan but couldn't reach him. Suddenly, Jihan rushed inside, scaring Yura. "What's wrong? Why aren't you answering your phone? Where is Jun? Did something happen?" Jihan panicked and said, "He's dead." Yura asked how. He said, "I don't know, he just fell from the sky." Yura was confused. "Fell? I don't understand." "I don't either," Jihan shouted. "None of this makes sense." Then Jihan thought how June brother Sang would react to his brother death. Jihan ordered, "Back up all the goods first. We need to get out of here." Yura asked, "All the drugs? I already spread the word to the others." "Just do it," Jihan barked. "Unless you want to die." Suddenly a phone call came. Jihan quickly opened a locker. There was a bag inside it. A voice said, "High schooler these days are scary." A stash in a rental warehouse. It was revealed to be Seung, Jun's older brother. Jihan asked, "How did you find this place?" Yura replied, "Sorry, Jihan. I told them so I wouldn't have to pay my debt." This angered Jihan. and he rushed to attack her but was pinned to the ground by Seong. "How do you even think of hitting a woman, you little scammer?" Seong scolded. Ji-han pleaded, "No, boss. I just wanted to pay you back." Seong stepped on his head and said coldly, "Lies, every time you open your mouth." One of Song's men said, "Boss, we found the goods. It's way over 5 billion won. This country is seriously messed up. High school kids carrying around 5 billion won worth of drugs." At that moment, Seong received a call. He answered. It was a detective. About Jun-woo's death, Seong stood motionless. Then he said to Chief Kim to pack everything up. "Yes, sir," Kim replied. Seong continued. "I need to stop by the hospital. Lock those guys up." Meanwhile, Yura said, "Wait. I don't know anything. I just found out about Jun-woo's death." Seong asked coldly, "How do you know that?" Ji-han thought, "That stupid girl." Yura replied, "Because Ji-han told me." That infuriated Song. He slammed Ji-han's head into the ground again. "Did you kill him? Is that why you were trying to run away?" Seong asked. "No, I never," Ji-han stammered. Seong yelled, "Answer properly, you bastard," and beat him again. Bleeding from his nose and mouth, Ji-han said, "I think I know who killed him." Meanwhile, Chan-hee was washing his face at home when his grandmother called. "Are you home? I heard someone from school died today. Are you okay?" "Nothing happened to you, right?" Chan-hee replied calmly, "Yes, I'm fine." Somewhere else, Mina stood on top of a building, watching the city. She wore the same hoodie she used when killing the attacker. In a luxury car, the driver said, "Chairman, we are almost at the school. The business lunch schedule will be delayed." "Will that be all right?" Lee Ji-han, Lua's grandmother, replied calmly, "Let them wait. It has been so long since I accompanied my lovely granddaughter on her way to school." Beside her, Lua sat quietly. At that same moment, some students were crossing the road, and among them was Mina. Lee Ji-han asked, "Are you still upset?" Lua replied, "I don't know. Suddenly you told me to close down the business I was doing with my friends." "What was that about?" Her grandmother said, "Business. Playing with coins and hanging around junkies doesn't sound like business." Lua smiled and said, "It was fun." Lee Ji-han continued, "Dangling a few bucks in front of people and having them follow you around like puppies. It is not business. That's why you need to learn more. There are things in the world that cannot be moved by money or profit. There is madness far beyond that. Sometimes, I see your mother's eyes in you. The night your mother left me, eyes filled not by love, but by madness." Hearing this, Lua hugged her grandmother tightly. "I am having so much fun, thanks to you. I am different from my mother. I will never betray you, chairwoman." Back to present. The driver said. Chairwoman up ahead. Lee Soo-hyun was standing in front of car. Once inside the car, he asked the grandmother, "Were you aware of Lua's school life?" She answered confidently, "She is my one and only granddaughter. I did not neglect her." Lee Soo-hyun frowned and said, "What she is involved in goes far beyond what an ordinary high school student would do. What the hell happened to that kid?" He stared at her angrily. "Do you think Lua was broken? Not even close. She had everything perfectly under control. For a 17-year-old, she had the talent to dominate everyone." Lee Soo-hyun reached out to grab her neck but stopped, asking in a low voice, "What did you do to my daughter? What did you do to my child?" The grandmother said firmly, "She is my granddaughter, not your daughter." He calmed down. She added, "I will provide you with all the support you need. Now go and do what you must. Find the one who killed Lua." At Chan-hee's home, he said goodbye to his grandmother. She asked, "Are you okay?" He smiled, "Nothing is wrong. You'll catch a cold. Go inside and rest. You have cleaning duty tonight." Then he left for school. On the way, Mina called him from behind. "How is the spot where you were hit?" Chan-hee was startled. "Why are you so surprised? Are you hiding something?" he asked. "How did you get behind me?" She smiled, "I used my power to walk you home yesterday. Don't you remember?" Chan-hee's face paled as he remembered Jun-woo's death. He vomited. Mina calmly handed him a tissue. "Are you okay?" he replied bitterly. "Jun-woo died yesterday, right?" "Yeah." "Good riddance," she said. Mina smiled and said, "With Lua Jun-woo gone, that crew is finished. No one will bother you anymore." He said, "Mina, we can't keep killing people." She replied coldly, "It's not like I meant to kill him. I gave him a chance. He took his own life. In the end, he got what he deserved. My dad was a cop. He died because of guys like him. She became like this because I wasn't there for her. How many people in this city hold grudges against my daughter? There is one of them who killed my daughter." Both Mina and Lee Soo-hyun said at the same time, their voices filled with resolve. "Those scum, however many they are, I will kill them." At school, students were talking about recent events. The boy who died on the rooftop. Lua not coming to school. Jahan and Yura were absent too. "I know I shouldn't say this, but it's good they're dead. It would be better if the rest of them disappeared too." School feels brighter now that they're gone. Meanwhile, Mina was watching the news on her phone. A reporter said, "This is public investigator Polycule. Right now I'm standing in front of the house where a criminal offender who shocked the nation 10 years ago." Chan-hee came from behind and asked, "Are you going there?" Mina replied coldly, "The victimized child died 2 years later from trauma." After the sentence, the offender received no further punishment. Chan-hee pleaded, "Mina, don't do this." But she ignored him and said, "This isn't fair." Chan-hee tried again. "You should stop." Mina challenged him, "Did I ask for your opinion? Who benefits the most from this anyway? Why can't others enjoy the same benefit? You think it's fine as long as you're the only one who gets away with it, right?" Their conversation grew louder. Chan-hee lowered his voice, "That's not what I meant. But if you keep doing this, something terrible will happen. You could get caught." Mina laughed and walked into a bathroom. Before he could follow, some girls blocked his way. "Are you trying to go into the girls' bathroom?" He apologized and ran away, but just then, Mina called his name and says, "That criminal offender just happened to be home." Students nearby were talking about a YouTube video. The criminal offender had died. Caught live on camera, the video showed him jumping from his house. Did he take his own life because he couldn't live with his conscience? Our Polycule channel has the full unedited video. Chan-hee asked, "Did you kill him just now?" Mina answered calmly, "I just came back from the bathroom." Elsewhere at the hospital, Lee Soo-han stood in front of Jun-woo's body. The doctor said, the cause of death was nerve damage from a cervical fracture. The fracture's shape doesn't match a typical fall. Lee Soo-hyun asked, "What does that mean?" The doctor explained, "He was found on a rooftop. There are no tall buildings nearby outside." A man asked, "So you're from the Illy group?" Won-huri replied, "Yes, from the secretary's office." The man added, "You must be connected to the princess issue, the beach incident." She remained cold, "I'm just a low-level employee." It turned out the man was a detective. He said to her, "That kid is the younger brother of the city's biggest gang boss and connected to Illy Group's princess." Lua. Won-huri asked, "It sounds like you know a lot. Am I right, detective?" Before he could answer, a cop arrived. "Detective Cho, the victim's family is here." Seong Jun-woo's older brother arrived furious. The detective confirmed the identity. Lee Soo-hyun saw Seong crying. "Who is that?" he asked. Seong, the older brother of the dead boy. Seong turned to Lee Soo-hyun. "Who the hell are you? Why are you here standing next to my brother's body?" Lee Soo-hyun remained silent. Seong attacked him. The detective shouted, "Seong, calm down. You should properly mourn your brother." Seong broke into tears and left. The detective added, "If you're done here, leave. Remember the favor I did for you today." Lee Soo-hyun said, "Fine." In the elevator, he said, Seong didn't even ask why his brother died. She answered, "Should we assign someone to watch him?" He agreed, "Let's start with that guy." After school, Chan-hee said to Mina, "Listen to me for a second. This doesn't feel right." Mina asked, "What exactly are you worried about?" "That bastard should have not lived comfortably and died peacefully. Go preach that human rights crap to the victims." Chan-hee shouted, "No, you killed someone. How can you act like it's nothing? If you keep doing this, you'll become the same." Mina grabbed his shirt. "What do you mean? Am I a villain?" He said, "That's not what I meant." She smirked and said, "Do you want to see the villain you're talking about?" Before he could react, she teleported him high into the sky. "Chan-hee, you don't know anything about me." And Chan-hee began to fall. Chan-hee fell to the ground, but surprisingly, he wasn't dead. Mina looked at him and calmly said, "Relax, you didn't die. Get a grip." "I was scared the first time I teleported so high too." Chan-hee asked, "Where is this place?" Mina gestured around them. "Look around. We are standing on a cliff outside the city. After I got my ability, I started searching for my own views. It's a restricted climbing area, but I don't care." Chan-hee smiled in amazement. "It's completely different from the view at the observatory." Mina teased, "Seeing it through glass can't compare to this." Chan-hee said, "You must come here every day then." She replied, "As long as you keep it a secret, I'll bring you here from time to time." He chuckled but then said, "Still, who would believe such a story? Even if I told them, they'd just think I'm crazy." She smirked, "So you're just going to babble about it?" "No," he answered firmly. Then she raised her hand and said, "Hold my hand tightly." At the hospital, Song stood silently beside his brother Jen-woo's body. The detective said, "The autopsy results will be ready by tomorrow. Then the body will be handed over and funeral preparations should start." Song refused. "No funeral until I catch the bastard who killed my brother." The detective warned, "Don't say dangerous things in front of me. It hasn't even been ruled a murder yet." Seong ignored him, received a phone call. and stormed out. Then detective says to him that it could be an accident, which angered him. He grabbed the detective by the neck and says, "Pretend you don't care. That's what you do best, right? That's why you take bribes." He left with his men. Meanwhile, Lee Soo-hyun and Won Huri were investigating Seong. He's the CEO of Gold Credit Finance and head of virus coin development, but also a thug, Won Huri explained. Lee Soo-hyun asked, why would someone like him get involved with Lua? Did she pick the wrong friend? Won Huri responded, it's not that simple. Seong's whole business depended on the Illy Group's support, but Lua ruined his plan. The strange thing is, only the liquidation rumors spread, and she didn't take any of it. At that moment, Lee Soo-hyun noticed Song exiting the hospital. Follow him quietly. Mina teleported Chan-hee to an abandoned building in the mountains. This is my safe point. No one comes here, she said. On the walls were photos of various places Mina had visited. It's easier to memorize places this way, she explained. Chan-hee asked, can you teleport all the way to the US or Europe? Not yet, Mina replied. There's a limit to how many jumps I can do in a row. My record is reaching the West Coast in a single jump, but it completely drained me. Then she teleported behind him. He tried to leave the building but found there were no stairs, so he waited. Mina came back, offering him donuts. Even though I can visit famous spots instantly, eating here feels special. Do I still look like a monster to you? I still don't understand why I have this power. Saving you was my way of finding answers. It became my duty. Chan-hee warned murder isn't a duty. You'll get in serious trouble. Mina smirked. What are you worried about? That I'll get caught, he said. I can't just watch the one who saved me fall apart. Mina smiled and said I knew I was right to save you. She added, fine, if you're going that far I won't kill. Chan-hee's face lit up. But elsewhere Jahan was with thugs of Seong. He said, this is the place where Chan-hee lives. The thugs shouted, find him, or you will die. Then Jihan spotted Chan-hee and Mina walking across the street. There, that's him. Without hesitation, Thug ordered, get both of them into the car. Jihan approached Chan-hee and asked angrily, you killed Joan, didn't you? Chan-hee was shocked and speechless. Mina stepped forward, her voice cold. Hey, where did you get beat up, and why are you spreading nonsense like that? Jan shouted, Mina, you better step aside. The only reason Jun-woo is dead is because of you. I almost died that day. Chan-hee tried to defend himself. What are you talking about? I'm the one who almost died. Gihan snapped back. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have had to go to the rooftop. It's all your fault. Mina's expression hardened. I really can't listen to this. Hey trash, should I throw you away just like Lua? Before she could continue, one of the thugs used an electric taser on Chan-hee, knocking him unconscious, and took them to a remote area. Meanwhile, Seong, Jun-woo's older brother, arrived at the building where his men stood guard. The kids you mentioned are all up there, captured, his men reported. Seong commanded, make sure no one gets in or out. Mina slowly woke up, feeling a sharp pain in her head. She looked around through a blindfold and thought to herself, what is happening? My head feels like it's being crushed. Where am I? What happened to Chan-hee? Chan-hee was then thrown at Song's feet. Seong sneered, I know my brother well. Joan may have been a fool, but he didn't die from a simple accident. Jihan said, he was the last one with Jun before he died. He killed him when he thought he would die from the beating. Mina shouted, no Jihan, you fool. I'm the one who killed him, but she couldn't say it aloud because her mouth was duct taped. Seong grabbed Chan-hee and lifted him. When my brother died, you were there, weren't you? Chan-hee remained silent. Seong's fist connected with Chan-hee's gut. Mina thought desperately, I can't use my ability. I can't see through this blindfold. My head keeps ringing, please stop. Seong continued the brutal attack, yelling, do you take me for a fool? My brother died right in front of you and you know nothing about it. Suddenly, Seong removed Mina's blindfold. Her eyes opened to reveal Chan-hee badly beaten and broken. Seong asked Jihan, who is that? Gihan replied, she claims to know where Lua is. Mina whispered softly, sorry. Seong demanded again, sorry for what? Mina lowered her head. Back then, I should have killed them all on the rooftop. But I hesitated and now this happened. Seong lunged at Mina in anger, but at that moment, she teleported and overlapped through his body. The aftershock from the teleport threw both Seong and Mina in opposite directions. Everyone was stunned. Jihan turned toward Mina and saw that she was free. One of the thugs said, didn't you hear something explode upstairs just now? Footsteps followed. It was Lee Soo-hyun and Won Huri standing at the entrance. Lee Soo-hyun asked, is he inside? Lee Soo-hyun suddenly began beating the thugs violently. I know Seong is here, I just came to talk, so just tell me. Which floor is he on? He demanded. One of the thugs sneered out of nowhere, "Who the hell even are you?" Lee Soo-hyun growled, "If you answer me, you won't get hurt." "Where is he?" Won-hurry intervened calmly. "Who's going to answer you when you talk like that?" "That's why I'll be the one to ask." She turned to the thugs. Everyone were just here to talk a little. But before she could say more, someone threw a knife at her. The knife connected. The attacker smirked. "Where should I stick it this time?" Suddenly, the knife flew back and killed one of the men standing behind him. "That scared the crap out of me," Won-hurry muttered. All the thugs rushed toward Won-hurry, but she overpowered them effortlessly. Lee Soo-hyun said firmly, "The question." Won-hurry nodded. "Yes, I'm sorry, you have to ask it. Answer us properly. Don't embarrass me any more than you already have." At that moment, someone fell from the top floor, heading straight toward Won-hurry. Lee Soo-hyun quickly caught her. As he looked up, more of the thugs began falling from the upper floors. "What's going on upstairs?" he asked, bewildered. Meanwhile, Mina, exhausted, watched as the thugs hesitated to attack her. What's happening? Where did that kid disappear to, they wondered. She teleported behind them and pushed them down the stairs. Suddenly, her nose started bleeding. "My head, it feels like it's going to explode. Did I overuse my power? I did over 20 teleportations in a row without a break before, so why now?" Then she spotted Chan-hee. "Are you okay? Can you stand?" she asked. Seeing so much blood, Mina thought, "First, we need to get to a hospital." "But which one? I've never been to one before." "Just hold on tight. I'll teleport us and find one," she promised. But before she could act, Seong appeared and attacked her. "You punk! What the hell did you do to me?" he snarled. Mina struggled to move. "My body won't respond." "This is bad, I need to use my power." Song sneered, "Just answer one thing before you die. Was it true? Are you the one who killed my little brother?" She said, "Mr. Your little brother." His tears flowed faster than she expected. That only made him angrier, and he attacked again, but her body still felt paralyzed. Suddenly there was a loud cracking sound. Chan-hee, using his remaining strength, shielded her with his body. "Run," he urged. Seeing him like that, Mina cried and teleported behind Seong. She dodged every attack by teleporting but was eventually hit and thrown away. Seong sneered. "What was that just now?" One of his men said, "The other got hit the same way earlier, I don't even know what's happening." Another asked, "Boss, what should we do with the bodies?" Seong replied coldly, "Wait a second, that one isn't dead yet. If we melt her alive, it'll be a message to everyone." But before he could kill Mina, Lee Soo-hyun appeared from behind and kicked Song hard. "Are you okay?" he asked. Lee Soo-hyun carefully approached Mina, who was lying weakly on the ground. "Can you get up?" he asked, observing her closely. He seemed to recognize her and thought, "Why is she in this place?" He told her not to move and promised to take her to the hospital. Seeing Mina in that fragile state, he remembered his own daughter. Suddenly, Seong got up and attacked Lee Soo-hyun from behind. But he quickly dodged and flipped Song over. "Seeing you fall, I thought your neck snapped just now. You're tougher than I expected. It's been a while since I enjoyed breaking something," Lee Soo-hyun said calmly. Song, furious, asked, "You are the guy who was snooping around the hospital earlier. Let me ask one thing. Were you involved in my little brother's death?" Without warning, Seong attacked again and a brutal fight began. He avoided any fatal blows, still a thug at heart, he said. When Song tried to land a powerful punch, Lee Soo-hyun countered. "Hitting a girl with that much force, is that what makes you a thug?" Lee Soo-hyun kept punching and kicking Song until he was stunned. As Song was falling, he taunted. "What's wrong? First time getting hit." Song quickly regained his strength and attacked again, but Lee Soo-hyun grabbed his arm and broke it. Song screamed in pain. "Quit whining," Lee Soo-hyun said coldly. Then he made sure Song was unconscious. "Don't die yet, I have a lot of questions to ask you." Won-hurry finally arrived. "I contacted that company. They'll handle the aftermath," Lee Soo-hyun told her. "Call for the medical staff. We have multiple critical patients." He then turned to Mina. "What's your name?" "Mina," she whispered. "I'm a police officer." "I'll get you to the hospital right away," he said. At the word police, Mina remembered her own father. "Dad," she said, her voice trembling. Lee Soo-hyun looked at her and said, "That's right, Daddy will save you." At the hospital, Mina slowly regained consciousness. Her mother stood by, crying. "What happened to me?" Mina asked. Her mother gently said, "You don't remember? You were saved from kidnappers by the detective." Just then Lee Soo-hyun walked in and said, "No, I just found Miss Mina after she fainted." Lee Soo-hyun said, "You don't have to worry about the kidnappers now, they have been arrested." But Mina thought to herself, "Arrested? No one died, that can't be." Then Lee Soo-hyun asked again, "Miss Mina, I know it's hard after what you've been through, but I have questions for you." Mina interrupted. Wait. What about Chan-hee? I need to know what happened to him. In the ICU, Chan-hee lay badly injured. Lee Soo-hyun said he's in a coma. We don't know when, or if, he'll wake up. Mina blamed herself. It's my fault. If only I had done things differently. If only they had all died, none of this would have happened. At that moment, Chan-hee's grandmother approached Lee Soo-hyun, crying, Detective, did you catch the one who did this to him? Why would they do this? What did that poor child ever do wrong? Hearing that, Mina couldn't breathe and collapsed. Later, a bit stronger, Lee Soo-hyun thought to himself, she's not in a condition to answer now. He stood to leave, but Mina's mother offered him a cup of coffee. Mina asked quietly, Detective, the one who hurt Chan-hee, what happened to them? Were they arrested? That night, Song was tied to a chair. Lee Soo-hyun stood in front of him and said, If you cooperate, you might leave alive. Song shouted, You've got the wrong person. I'll kill all of you and track down your family. Won-hee stabbed him in the back and said, How about some chiropractic therapy? Lee Soo-hyun asked, Did you kill Lee Luo? Seong replied, No, she managed my coins. I don't know where she is. Song added, Jahan told me that girl with glasses knows where Luo is. Suddenly, Song started bleeding and gasping. Lee Soo-hyun asked, When did you get this wound? Song collapsed and died, leaving the mystery unresolved. Back in present, Lee Soo-hyun looked at her with a serious expression. The culprit is dead. You don't need to be afraid of anything. Just so you know, death is simply the punishment they deserve. Mina remembered the day she killed her dog. Lee Soo-hyun continued, You don't have to worry about anything. It's my job to deliver justice. Mina softly thanked him. Outside, Won-hee asked, What will you do now? Lee Soo-hyun said, Something bigger is going on. But now isn't the right time to ask. She asked again, What about Song? All his gang members at the scene are dead too. Lee Soo-hyun said calmly, It's not over yet. There may still be some loose ends. Back in ICU, Mina thought about Jihan and how he treated them. She whispered to Chan-hee, There are still ones who deserve punishment. This time I absolutely won't make a mistake. Then she teleported. In the morgue, Lee Ji-hyun demanded an explanation. Can a corpse speak? She said coldly. Lee Soo-hyun replied, I didn't file the report. She cut him off. Just reporting is enough. How convenient. Lee Soo-hyun, has your mind gone mad? Acting like a beast, killing him like that. Now we can't learn anything from him. Is that how you handle your work? Chairman Lee Ji-hyun, are you saying it was Mr. Lee's mistake in how he handled things? At that moment, the man's chest suddenly burst open. Lee Soo-hyun quickly stepped in. I'm sorry. The mistake is mine. Lee Ji-hyun smirked. At least you admit your mistake quickly, but responsibility still remains. She turned to leave, warning, I will overlook this just once, but if such a mistake happens again, we will simply discard you. Before departing, she added, Also, investigate those kids kidnapped by Song. What happened to them? Lee Soo-hyun answered, Yes, Chan-hee is in a coma, and Mina is due to be discharged soon. Lee Ji-hyun's tone hardened. Investigate them thoroughly, especially what they know about Luo. If they know too much, make sure they are silenced forever. Do you understand? Lee Soo-hyun replied, Chairman Lee Ji-hyun, those children might be the victims of Luo. She scoffed, Is that so? All the more reason to silence them. Parents always protect their child after all. At night, Mina was wide awake. She teleported in her abandoned building. She noticed the box of donuts on the ground and remembered Chan-hee. She opened her phone and saw a photo of Jihan and June. The memory of being kidnapped flashed through her mind. I should have killed him on the spot, but I missed my chance, Mina thought. He knows I'm involved in Luo's death. He witnessed my ability. He is the one who pushed Chan-hee to this state. I must find him somewhere. Meanwhile, Lee Soo-hyun said, Jihan is the top priority. We can't just wait for Song's autopsy. Won-hee asked, What about Mina? She knows something about Luo. Lee Soo-hyun answered, That's what Jihan told Song. He was obsessed with finding his brother's killer, but who gave him that information? Perhaps even Song was manipulated by Jihan. Lee Soo-hyun thought hard about who might have caused Joan's death. He recalled the people from the top and asked Won-hee, What was the cause of Luo's death again? The autopsy report said drowning. She answered. Lee Soo-hyun commanded, Turn the car around. She asked, What about Jihan? There's something I need to check first. I need to see Luo in the hospital. The doctor replied, You can't do that. The chairman ordered it strictly. One of the bodyguards said, Lee Soo-hyun, that's enough, and tried to stop him. But Lee Soo-hyun overpowered the bodyguard, pinning him down. Others rushed to attack, but he threw the bodyguard at them and stared at the doctor. I came to see my daughter. Don't get in my way. In the morgue, Lee Soo-hyun examined Lua's body carefully. Won-hurry asked, "What are you looking for?" Lee Soo-hyun said, "Here are faint bruises. Not just one place, at least 2 more on her back, and different in color than livor mortis." He continued, "She must have fallen from a great height. Probably the same person who killed Jun also killed Lua." Mina visited her father. She said, "I'm here. It's my first time coming without Mom, isn't it? Today I wanted to share a secret with you, Dad. I killed someone. Not just one, but a lot of them. I am a police officer's daughter. If you were alive, you would be furious, just like back then when I killed Dooley. But if people like them don't get punished, they will never change. Those people killed you, and they did that to Chan-hee. They received their punishment. That's why I was given this power. Please watch over me, Dad." Then she teleported away. Later, food was delivered for 2 people. As the delivery man left, the door opened and Yura took the food inside. Jahan was already there. Shut the door fast. "Mina might come," Gihan said. Yura closed the door. "This doesn't make sense. Why is there no news about so many people being murdered?" Gahan looked frightened. That night Mina was killing them one by one, smiling. "I was so scared." When Yura handed him his food, Gahan jumped back. "You scared me." Yura snapped. "Why the hell are you freaking out at me? We got screwed trying to frame Mina and Chan-hee. And whose fault is that?" Gahan started stomping on her. "If you hadn't sold me out from the start, if you hadn't met Lua, none of this would happened." Yura grabbed his leg and pushed him away. "How is that my fault? Don't you remember becoming rich thanks to me and Lua?" "I'll kill you," Jihan yelled. "Go ahead and try," Yura replied coldly. After a while, both of them sat down. Jihan said, "Killing you won't solve the problem. We need someone, a group that can protect us." Yura asked, "Is there someone?" He replied, "We can't even go to the police." "Yeah," she said, "there's an organization stronger than the police." He added, "Someone who wants Mina more than anyone else." At Ili head office, Lee Ji-han met with Lee Soo-han. He asked, "You summoned me." She questioned him. "I heard you assaulted my bodyguards and examined Luo's body. Is that true? It looks like you still don't understand the situation. You're not her father or anything else. You're just a mercenary hired by the Ili group. The reason you can wander in and out of the police station and use our resources is all thanks to me. Without my backing, you'd just be an illegal immigrant criminal." Lee Soo-hyun admitted, "That's right, I am a criminal. A murderer. Should someone like me really be let inside your office? What if something happened to you?" Her eyes narrowed. "Are you threatening me?" He said calmly. "You told me yourself to fulfill my duty as a parent, so please keep your own words as well. I promise I will bring you the head of the person who killed Lua." Suddenly, Won-hurry burst in. "It's urgent. Please listen to this." On the phone, Won-hurry said, "Repeat what you just said clearly this time." The caller replied, "Yes. I am Lua's close friend, and I know who killed her." Lee Soo-hyun was shocked. Meanwhile, on top of a building, Mina stood staring at a social media post about Yura. The post showed a drink, and through the window, the building's interior was visible, curtains not covering the room fully. Mina whispered, "I found them." Mina was standing near the pawn shop from the photo Yura had shared on Instagram. Based on the camera angle and the color of the curtains, she guessed that Yura was hiding in Unit 801. Mina thought she could catch Yura, but she also needed to figure out where Jahan was. If she went inside without knowing the layout and ran into someone, it would be a mess. She checked the layout of the building on a real estate site, but the photos overlapped with people's furniture. Then Mina noticed several large vans in front of the building. Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hurry were going inside. Mina wondered if Yura had reported this to the police or if Jahan was inside. If they fell into the hands of the police, it would be troublesome. She decided she had no choice but to force her way in. Inside the elevator, Won-hurry told Lee Soo-hyun that the building was fully surrounded. He replied that Yura had made the call, but Jihan might be with her. He ordered that no matter who was inside, they should secure them all. When the elevator doors opened, the group stepped out, but behind them Mina appeared and then vanished. In her room, Yura was scared. Then there was a knock at the door. She saw the Ili group and asked if they came because of the call. Won-hurry said yes and asked if they could have a little chat. Behind her was an axe and men hiding. Won-hurry asked Yura to open the door. Yura hesitated and opened the door slightly. From the shadows at the end of the hallway, she saw Mina looking at her. Yura screamed and ran back inside. Won-hurry broke down the door, but Mina had already teleported into the room. She grabbed Yura and teleported away. When the group entered the room, Yura was gone. Won-hurry said she had just been in front of the door a moment ago. Lee Soo-hyun wondered if Yura had met the same fate as Lua and Joan. Mina teleported Yura to an abandoned building. The fall shattered Yura's legs. Mina called her a crybaby and told her to look her in the eyes. Yura begged for her life, saying she had done nothing to Mina. Mina touched Yura's chin and said that wasn't the case with Chan-hee. Yura insisted she didn't know what had happened to him and begged for mercy. Mina told her that if she took her to Jihan, she would let her leave. Back at Yura's room, Lee Soo-hyun looked out the window, thinking Yura might be downstairs, but no one was there. Won-hee said Yura wasn't in the apartment either. Lee Soo-hyun ordered all units to search the rooftops of nearby buildings. He told Won-hee that the suspect was the same person who killed Lua. If Yura fell into their hands, she could end up dead too. Won-hee asked how someone could disappear with a person so quickly unless they were superhuman. Lee Soo-hyun said it didn't matter. Securing Yura was the top priority. On the rooftop, agents checked both sides while Lee Soo-hyun commanded teams B and C to search the buildings beside them. In one of the buildings, Jahan was watching through a window. He thought to himself that the El Hay group was using Yura as a shield. Then his doorbell rang. When he checked, it was Yura, shaken and crying. She begged him to open the door. Jihan asked why she was there. But behind her was Mina. She greeted him. Seeing her, Jahan slammed the door shut. Mina teleported inside and told him it was time to pay for his sins. Jahan tried to run, but Mina teleported in front of him. Startled, he fell on Yura. Then Yura pleaded for her life, saying she had only filmed something on her phone. Jihan shouted at her to shut up. Mina asked if that was really all he had to say. She asked if he had nothing to say to Chan-hee. Jihan told her not to come closer. He said the men in black suits outside were from the Illy group, and that he had called them there. Mina was surprised. She thought to herself, why would he work for that group? Is he not a detective? Jahan said the Ilhy group wouldn't let her go and that she was finished. Mina told him he was misunderstanding something. She didn't care if he exposed who she really was. She told him to go ahead and tip off the news about a teleporting killer. Jihan attacked her with a taser gun. Yura tried to hit her with a chair from behind, but Mina teleported, and the taser hit Yura instead. Yura fell unconscious. Mina laughed, saying they were funny and should form a comedy duo. Jihan asked what gave her the right to decide who gets punished. Mina asked if he knew what had happened to Chan-hee. He said he didn't. She teleported a baton into his head, knocking him down. The sound of the impact was heard by Lee Soo-hyun. He told Won-hee it sounded like gunfire from the 4 o'clock direction, near the orange officetal. Won-hee used the intercom to alert the agents. Jihan was confused. Mina asked why he had treated Chan-hee the way he did. He pleaded with her to stop. She said it didn't matter anymore. Even if she knew the reason, Chan-hee wouldn't wake up. Mina looked out the window and saw men barging into the building. She thought this was even better than the police. She told Jihan not to be scared, that Chan-hee hadn't died so he wouldn't die either. Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hee were near the building when suddenly Yura fell from the sky. Looking up, they saw Jahan standing above them. Lee Soo-hyun shouted his name. Then Jahan teleported. Lee Soo-hyun was shocked and puzzled. Jahan was gone.
Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hee rushed to the rooftop, but it was empty. Jahan had vanished. Soo-hyun clenched his fists. That bastard. It's just like when Yura disappeared. Why lure us here only to kill her in front of us? Won-hee checked in with her teams. None had seen anyone leave the building. She ordered them to regroup and search again, but Soo-hyun stopped her. It's no use. You saw his powers. He's already gone. His anger echoed across the rooftop. Far away, Jahan stumbled into a dark, abandoned mine. Where am I? He muttered, fear in his voice. Mina appeared before him. Coward. After what you did to Chan-hee, are you scared to die? He begged for his life, swearing he would do anything. Mina's expression was cold. Begged Chan-hee for forgiveness, not me. You want to live? Give me your password. Desperate, Jihan gave it up, thinking his money was safe.
Then he asked, now would you let me out?
But Mina only smirked. What are you talking about, going out? This place was prepared just for you. A collapsed shaft, hidden from the world. She reminded him of Yura's death. You killed her in front of the Ilhy group members, remember? Jihan froze, realizing Mina had twisted the truth. You planned this from the start, he whispered in terror. See you again, Jihan. She vanished, leaving him bleeding and screaming in the dark. Mina reappeared in the ICU beside Chan-hee. I did well, right? Are you angry with me? I killed again. I can't stop now. This is only the beginning. I'll tear out every root of their corruption. If you want to stop me, you'll have to wake up. The next day at school, rumors spread quickly. Students whispered about Yura's fall and Jihan's disappearance. No one knew who was behind it. Fear spread through the halls. Some believed Lua had also been taken out by the same mysterious hand. After school, Mina noticed a man filming near the gate. The guard tried to stop him, but he argued back. "This is outside school grounds. I have every right to cover this." Coverage. Mina thought, he doesn't look like a real journalist. Who is he? The man turned his camera on her. "So you're the infamous girl with psychic powers. Your identity is a mystery, but current affairs and cover is on the case. Tell me, do you believe saving that boy was the right thing?" After all, the attacker died. Mina's blood ran cold. How does he know about me? Suddenly, a hand snatched the phone. It was Lee Soo-han. He looked at her with piercing eyes. "Long time no see, Mina." Mina froze the moment her eyes landed on Lee Soo-han. Of all the people she wished never to see again, he is at the top. She thought to herself that she needed to find a way out of this situation quickly. The man who had been recording videos earlier shouted at Lee. He demanded to know who he was, and what gave him the right to take someone else's phone. He yelled for him to give it back, or he would call the police. Lee Soo-hyun stepped forward. In an instant, he grabbed the man's hand and snapped his finger. The man screamed in agony. Lee told him to be grateful it was only a finger, and warned him to leave before he was handed over for illegal filming. The man, clutching his broken finger, shouted back that he was the one who had been assaulted. He accused Lee of stealing his property, but Lee countered by asking why he had been filming so hard. He pointed out how the man only targeted girls and deliberately recorded their skirts. Hearing this, the students around them grew furious. Won-Hari spoke coldly, calling him a waste of space in society. The man panicked, trying to defend himself by saying he was only collecting evidence to find a psychic. But the crowd had already turned against him. They raised their phones, snapping photos of his face. Desperate, the man pulled a mask over his face and ran, chased by the angry crowd. Watching it unfold, Mina realized it wasn't just her he had targeted. He had been preying on every girl at the school. Lee turned to her and said that you don't look like someone who is frightened. Mina looked at him in silence as he asked if they could talk. Later, at a cafe, Mina thanked him for the meal. She also thanked him for saving her from the stalker. Lee brushed it off, saying it was nothing. He was a detective, it was his job. But inside, Mina thought to herself, liar. That night, she had seen him working with the elite group. Was he really a detective, or was he corrupt? No matter what, she decided to play along. She needed to know how much the police and the group were connected. Mina casually asked if Lee and Won-Hari were dating. Before Lee could answer, Won-Hari laughed excitedly and said they actually matched quite well, don't we? Mina replied that Won-Hari looked too young. Won-Hari teased back that Mina looked like she could be a great actress, though she was clumsy when she tried too hard. Their eyes met in silence. Then Mina suddenly lowered her spoon and began to cry. Through tears, she admitted that she still couldn't remember everything from that day. She explained how she was kidnapped because of Jihan, how she had to watch Chan-hee get beaten nearly to death, and how she herself was struck in the head. Everything had blurred, and then she lost consciousness in a flash of light. She asked if they were trying to frame her and Chan-hee for the incident. Lee asked, "You mean Joan's death?" Mina admitted she never understood why Jahan would do such a thing. How could he kill someone like Jun? Lee cut her off, saying it was by throwing him off the building, wasn't it? Mina nodded slowly. Lee apologized for making her recall something so painful, but explained they needed her testimony. He revealed that Jahan was a key witness, and the police were searching for him. "Did you know anything?" Mina asked if he suspected Jahan of the murder. Lee replied they couldn't be sure until they spoke with him. Overwhelmed, Mina stood and excused herself, saying she needed to wash her face.
Won-Hari quietly observed her in the bathroom.
At the table, Lee thought to himself. For the second time, Mina overlapped in his mind with Lua. Something about her kept pulling him back to that memory. Outside, Lee handed her his card. He told her the case was still under investigation, and he might need to meet her again. She accepted and told him to contact her anytime. Won-Hari softened, apologizing for being harsh earlier. She explained detectives were built to be suspicious. Then Mina's mother arrived in a rush. Lee Soo-hyun said he had notified her in advance. Because minors could not be questioned without a guardian, he reminded Mina that if she remembered anything more about that day, she should contact him immediately. Mina agreed and left with her mother. Lee turned to Won-hari and asked for her impression. Won-hari said if Mina was only acting, then the future of Korean cinema looked bright. At that moment, Detective Cho sent a message to Lee. They had permission to review the evidence from the stabbing incident at the PC cafe. Lee told Hari that all they needed now was the knife used that day. With the blood on the blade
and Mina's spoon in his hand,
they could run DNA tests and cross-check everyone involved. Mina watched a looped interview at home, two men debating the impossible. Someone had fallen from the sky, subdued a knife attacker outside a PC cafe, and vanished. Teleportation belonged in science fiction, they argued. Yet the footage existed, and the police had nothing official to say. Viewers argued it was fake, or an AI trick. Others begged the authorities to find that person. Mina had acted rashly to save Chan-hee, and, in doing so, exposed the one thing she could not afford to show. Now a petty, desperate content creator had filmed the scene for clicks. He knew her name. That frightened her more than any police search. Anger flared, and she forced it down. Impulse had led to mistakes before. From now on she would be careful. Hermon breezed in with news Uncle Hong Yeon was coming tonight. He arrived shortly after.
It was Detective Cho.
He was embarrassed for being late. Over dinner the conversation turned to the case. Lee Soo-hyun's name came up. Mina had already met him. Detective Cho laughed, surprised, and admitted he knew Lee Soo-hyun. He praised Lee's passion. Mina felt there was still something she could not trust about him. Lee had been in the field the night she'd been kidnapped, linked in some way to Ilhi group movements. Mina kept that thought to herself. Detective Cho explained the criminal ring that trafficked and terrorized had a leader who was now dead. The gang's collapse closed some doors but opened others. Mina's mother tried to steer the table away from the old wound. But Mina said the man who stabbed father had served only 13 years. Her mother got angry and said to not talk about that man. The family could not keep living in that shadow. Mina promised she would stop dwelling on it. Before he left, Detective Cho mentioned the new assignment
he had taken, the one with stabbing outside the PC cafe.
He was in charge now, and it was a headache. Mina frowned. Teleportation rumors still circulated online, despite the story dropping out of major outlets. Cho said to them not to buy into fantasies. Outside, Detective Cho testing his own instincts. He wasn't used to the uneasy feeling that Mina evoked. He told himself he was imagining things. The next day at the police station the pieces began to move. Detective Cho met Lee Soo-hyun
and Won-hari in the evidence room. Cho unsealed a box which contained the knife.
It was the single piece everyone wanted, the blade with traces of blood that could finally be DNA tested. Cho teased Lee about enjoying his life as police, and Lee said, "You don't look pleased." Then Cho grabbed Lee by neck and said, "Why did you approach Mina?" Lee said, "Wait, you know Mina." Then everything changed. Something had fallen onto the compound. A uniformed man burst into the evidence room, exclaiming that someone had just fallen from the sky onto a police car parked in the lot. Outside, stunned officers framed the scene. Someone sat unmoving on the hood of a patrol car, as if appearing from nowhere. A hush cut across the yard, then a single voice, calm, almost amused, said, "Hello." The figure on the police car was Mina. The officers shouted in shock, asking who she was and when she appeared. They quickly surrounded her and ordered her to get down on the ground. One of them said she was under arrest, but before they could reach her, Mina teleported inside the building. Detective Cho heard through the walkie-talkie that someone had fallen at the police station and that the suspect had appeared and disappeared. He thought to himself that it was the same as the PC cafe incident and the Joan case. Suddenly Mina teleported right in front of him and said hello. Hearing her voice he was confused, but before he could react she teleported again. She reappeared at her destination point where a group of cops were waiting. They fired their tasers, but she avoided them and teleported the officers onto the rooftop of a nearby building. Then she broke into the evidence room, where Won-hari was ready to attack her. But the one who came inside first was not Mina, it was Detective Cho. Won-hari asked what he was doing there. He replied that he rushed back because of the explosion. He reminded her that she was the one who said the suspect would target this place and warned her that she had almost killed a cop just now. Then Mina teleported into the room. Won-hari was stunned and said she could hardly believe it even after seeing it with her own eyes. Detective Chu agreed, calling it something beyond human. Mina thought to herself that everything was going as expected. Now she just needed to escape. But then she sensed something and Lee Soo-hyun attacked. She teleported away. Lee gave an order and Won-hari threw her axe at Mina, but she vanished again. Won-hari asked how they were supposed to catch someone like that. Lee looked at her and said, "So we finally meet. You came for this, didn't you?" He showed her the knife. He taunted her, asking why she was hesitating. He challenged her to come and take it. Mina replied that they could not catch her. Lee studied her and thought the figure at the PC cafe looked smaller, but this body was bigger. He wondered if her strange ability was faster than his own and told her to come find out. Mina already had a plan. She had placed ropes around the room and in one swift move overlapped the rope into them, and it exploded. In that moment she touched the knife and teleported it into her grasp. "Thank you. I'll take the evidence," she said before vanishing again. Lee clenched his teeth, realizing he had lost her. Later on the news, the reporter revealed that the person who fell at the police station that afternoon was identified as Mr. Oh, an executive of Bukjin Construction. He was the same man who had killed a delivery driver while drunk driving, yet escaped punishment with the help of Ilei's powerful lawyers. Elsewhere, Mina removed her disguise. She had worn a vest to make her body look larger. Now, dressed normally, she quietly drank coffee while planning her next move.
Mina's escape left its marks. Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hari both suffered odd rope wounds where Mina's teleportation traps had overlapped with their bodies. Won-hari commented the injury felt strange sharp pain from the rope, but surprisingly little surface damage. Lee remembered a similar but larger wound on June. He guessed this was one of Mina's abilities. Back at the police station, a tense meeting was already underway. Officers discussed the hit-and-run case. The victim, who'd been killed by a drunk driver, had a note pinned to his back that read, "This is punishment." A superior scolded Detective Cho over the case report evidence was missing. The knife and other items were stolen, and the suspect's method remained unknown. Cho protested that they could not report what they didn't know, but the higher-up demanded action. "We have CCTV. Witnesses, even a voice," he said. "Send everything you have. We must apprehend him." A Won-hari was at a computer running audio analysis. She told Lee the voice from the police station incident matched Jihan, the same voice clipped in Yura's Instagram videos. Lee didn't fully focus, his daughter was on his mind. Harry pressed. If the voice was Jihan's, then he could be the culprit. Lee protested, why would Jihan kill his friends when he profited from Lua? Hari replayed the audio side by side and said, "Look, it's an exact match." At home, Mina said thanks to Jehan for leaving behind so many voice clips. She had used those many small voice samples, fed them into AI, and generated longer audio in Jihan's voice. She said, "From now on you'll speak for me." She planned to use his voice as a broadcast to punish those the law let go, to comfort victims. Now she chose her next target carefully, someone who would never be punished. On the news, anger flared. Chairman Kim of the chemical company, behind a deadly exposure case, had been acquitted again. Families of sickened workers protested outside the company headquarters. "How many workers must bleed before you stop?" one grieving family shouted. The public accused the law of shielding the wealthy. That same day at the Ilhi Group building, chairwoman Lee Jihan hosted a party. Chow Woo-hyuk of Bukaing Group appeared to pay respects. He claimed he represented a subsidiary and offered congratulatory remarks. Conversation moved on. Then Lee Soo-hyun entered, and Lee Jihan introduced Chow Woo-hyuk as Lua fiancé, which shocked Lee. Won-hari froze Lua engaged in high school. The revelation landed awkwardly in the room. Meanwhile, reporters grilled Chairman Kim about the verdict. He offered a bland, defensive statement about respecting the law and prioritizing safety. Then he slipped into his car and dismissed the protesters as ignorant fools. That was when Mina was sitting beside him. She confronted him coldly. "Kim Joo-yeon, chairman of Yugo Chemical Group, it's time for your punishment." When Chairman Kim opened his eyes, he found himself tied up inside an abandoned factory. He quickly remembered what had happened. He was kidnapped. But why would someone dare to kidnap him? Mina appeared and said, "You are awake, Chairman Kim." He shouted, "Who are you? Who sent you? Do you have any idea who I am?" Mina replied, "Chairman Kim of Yugo Chemical Group. Of course I know you. You are famous. Do you want to know why you are here? Under your company, 5 deaths happened 3 years ago. 3 deaths 2 years ago, and 2 deaths just last year. Safety manuals were ignored. Deaths repeated. Is your factory a workplace or a slaughterhouse? You preach safety, yet you do nothing." Chairman Kim growled. "Running a big business means there is a lot to worry about. You must be from one of the families. But this is not the right way to get revenge. Was the compensation not enough? Is this about money? The court already ruled the company had no responsibility. Yet we still paid an extra 100 million per person out of goodwill. They staged illegal protests, a daily racket. Amina said coldly. 10 billion in total. That is not even half the cost of the apartment you bought for your mistress. Shocked, he asked. How do you know that? She stepped closer. Do you really think I want money? No, I want you to atone. Genuinely, she opened a gas can. Hydrogen sulfide. Did you not properly dispose of hazardous materials from your shut-down factory? This is just 4 laters. In 30 minutes, this room will be filled. Chairman Kim panicked. Wait, are you going to kill me like this? Mina answered. Before we talk about your deeds, you should feel it for yourself. Feel what your workers felt as they collapsed in your factory. He cursed and struggled. Mina dropped a book in front of him. Read this. It contains the records of the victims who died in your factory. Your path to survival lies inside. Show people that you can change. And then she vanished, leaving him in the gas-filled room, fighting for his breath. Elsewhere, Lee Soo-hun met with Chairwoman Lee Ji-hun. He reported about the suspect with supernatural powers. The chairwoman asked, Lee, the report you gave me. Are you seriously saying this man has superpowers? Was that metaphorical, or have you lost your mind? Lee replied, I wish there was a better word. Please look at this CCTV footage from the evidence room. In the video, the man clearly teleported. Chairwoman Lee was stunned. Won Hari added, it's not just us. Many officers at the station witnessed this ability. We can only call it supernatural. The chairwoman leaned forward. So is this the one who killed my granddaughter? You found out who he is? Lee said. His name is Jihan. He is the most likely suspect. At the time of Yura's death, he vanished from the scene using his powers. The voice recording at the police station matches him. DNA from several places he teleported also points to him. The chairwoman's voice hardened. Then why have you come empty-handed? Where is Jihan? Lee replied. Don't you feel something strange? It's as if he wants us to follow him. Like he is deliberately baiting us. There is a sense of provocation. The chairwoman said coldly. Don't overthink. If you are a hound, then bite. If he throws bait, the one who cast it will show himself. Lee explained. We have taken necessary steps. We secured the whereabouts of Jihan's family. We are tracking his movements through multiple channels. His hidden cryptocurrency assets are being analyzed with digital forensics. Once we strip his life down to nothing, something will surely emerge. As Lee left her office, he turned to Won Hari. Question everything you can out of Jihan's parents. Everything they know, or don't know. She asked, what about you? Just then, his phone rang. Lee answered. The caller said, Good afternoon. This is Mina's mother. About what we discussed earlier, I was wondering what time might be convenient for you. I really want to treat you to a meal. Wushi added. Mina has been waiting to see the detective too. At that moment, Mina walked into her home, and her mother smiled. She just came in. Lee Soo-hyun replied yes, at 7 p.m. works for me. Please send the address. I will meet you there. He hung up. Won Hari asked, Did you just agree to meet Mina's mother? Meanwhile, back at the abandoned factory, Chairman Kim was still struggling to breathe. His body weakened. He collapsed, his legs giving way. And at Mina's home, she froze in surprise when her mother told her, Detective Lee is coming tomorrow. At the restaurant, Mina thanked Lee Soo-hun for the meal. She smiled and said, Thank you. I really appreciate it, Detective. He looked at her curiously. Appreciate it for what? She explained, Thanks to you, I get to eat like this. My mom has been on a diet lately, so she only cooks chicken breast. Lee chuckled. You have to eat well when you're growing. Watching this small family moment, he found himself lost in thought. I'm daydreaming again, he thought to himself. At the factory, Chairman Kim was struggling with the ropes. Mistake. Just a little more and I'll be free. I have to escape before she comes back. He didn't realize that a hidden phone was recording everything. Back at the restaurant, Mina noticed him staring off. What are you thinking about so deeply, Detective? Lee lowered his eyes. I never lived with my family. I was the worst father to my daughter. Amina's mother said gently, I don't know the details, but maybe your family understands. Mina's father was also a police officer, you know. Amina spoke softly. For me, if my father had just been there beside me, I would have been so happy. Lee nodded slowly. I know very well what happened to your father. You must have gone through a lot. For her mother sighed. We endured. Amina stood up. I'll step out for a moment. She left the table. Her mother looked at Leith. Even now, whenever she thinks of her father, she still feels the pain. Meanwhile, at the factory, Chairman Kim finally freed himself. He gasped, "That rat. I'll find you and tear you into pieces for leaving me here." Then he noticed the book Mina had left behind. He picked it up and remembered her words. "This is the list of victims who died in your factory. The way out is in here." Mina, watching through the hidden phone, waited for him to read. But instead he muttered, "A way out? Victims? What nonsense. Who are they to tell me to repent? I'm innocent. What should I be repenting for?" Her face fell in disappointment. Suddenly, Mina heard a voice behind her. "How about we have a little chat?" It was Lee Soo-han. She turned to him and asked, "Is this about Gahan?" Lee asked, "You were in the same class with Lua, weren't you? Do you know where she is?" Mina shook her head. "I'm not sure. She just stopped showing up one day." "Did something happen to her?" he said quietly. "It hasn't been announced to the press yet, so I'd appreciate it if you keep this secret." "The truth is Lua of the Ili group went missing." Mina acted shocked. He continued, "We are investigating Jihan's song. They're all connected to Lua's disappearance, but Jihan left a message. He said you know where Lua is." Amina frowned. What Jihan meant was probably that day. "That day?" Lee pressed. She sighed. "It's not a pleasant story." She told him how she and Chun-hee were bullied by Lua. Hearing this, Lee felt guilt. Mina went on, "After that, Lua told us both to stay after school. She said she would take us somewhere nice. But I knew she didn't mean just hanging out. I didn't stay, because I didn't know what might happen." Lee asked, "Why would Lua do something like that?" Mina looked at him sharply. "Why? If there's a reason, does that make it okay? You say she disappeared. The world really is unfair. When Chan-hee suffered, the school and the police were silent. But when Lua, who trampled on others for fun, goes missing, suddenly everyone is desperate to find the culprit." At the factory, Chairman Kim staggered. His breaths grew weaker. He tried to open the door before Mina returned. Back at the restaurant, Lee lowered his head. "I'm sorry. It's natural for you to feel that way. If I had known what she was doing, I would never have let it be." Mina asked, "Why do you care as if she is your daughter?" He shook his head. "No. But if she were my daughter, and if she committed a crime, she should be punished." Amina was surprised by his strict ideology. At the factory, Chairman Kim rammed at the door, not realizing a device had been placed there. When he forced it open, a spark ignited the gas. An explosion ripped through the factory and threw him outside. At the restaurant, Mina spoke softly. "Earlier, you said you were the worst father. But if your daughter had seen you even once, she wouldn't have thought that. If I had met her, I would have told her, her father is a wonderful man." As those words lingered, Chairman Kim's broken body hit the ground outside the ruined factory. He was dead. Detective Cho arrived at the scene where Chairman Kim had died. Rain poured down as officers worked. Some of them said to preserve the crime scene, but Cho thought to himself, the rain started half an hour ago. All the clues have already been washed away. What's the point of preserving it now? He sighed. Such a big shot ended up dead. Another officer pointed toward the abandoned factory. Judging by the body's location, we believe he fell from there. His last sighting was in a limousine in front of the court. How did he get here so quickly, and why would he climb alone in such a dangerous place? Detective Cho asked, "What's the state of the building?" The officer replied, "It's in poor condition. After the explosion, the stairs are in terrible shape." "When will the equipment arrive?" Cho asked. "We requested a drone expert and a ladder truck. We're also checking CCTV footage." Chu narrowed his eyes. Could this also be the work of the man with teleportation? But the method seems far more complicated now. Has he evolved? Inside the building, Mina quietly erased her traces. Before the police could find anything, she retrieved the book she had given Chairman Kim. She muttered, "Fool. I told you there was a way to survive." The book contained instructions. There was a phone hidden between the pipes and the wall to request help. Mina took the phone, teleported to her safe place, and burned it. Later she opened the news and saw the reports. The anchor said, "We have obtained footage of Chairman Kim's final moments from an anonymous source. Viewer discretion is advised." The video showed Chairman Kim's voice. "Not enough compensation. Is this about money? We even gave an extra 100 million out of goodwill. I am innocent. What should I atone for? I am not guilty. You think a few deaths justify this kind of treatment?" The reporter explained. This video is believed to have been recorded just before Chairman Kim's death. Police are currently tracing the source. Mina's mother gasped. How vile he was. Mina simply replied, "Indeed." The reporter added, alongside the video, the informant also sent a voice message. The broadcast played a distorted voice saying, "This is punishment. For a better world." At the Illy Group head office, Lee Ji-hun, Lee Soo-han, and Won Huri watched the broadcast. Lee Ji-hun frowned. These foolish broadcasters. What's the point of altering the voice? Lee Soo-hyun said, I already requested the original file. But I can already guess whose voice it is. Lee Ji-hun's expression hardened. Ji-han. So this was also his work. Lee nodded. According to police intel, it's confirmed. But then doubt crossed his mind. Did I make the wrong call? At the time of Chairman Kim's death, Mina was with me. There wasn't a single moment she was out of sight. He remembered the words she once said. Pushing aside the thought, he stood up. For now, we're still digging into Jihan's whereabouts. His family knows nothing. But in his cloud, we found an encrypted ledger. There was an interesting name. Cha Woo-hyuk of Spot Entertainment. Luo's fiancé. He appears to have received payments through a Spot Entertainment subcontractor. Could Jihan have been scouting idols on the street or something? Lee Ji-hyun scoffed. Is this an interrogation? That so-called engagement fell apart quickly. Luo saw through him. He wanted to marry into our family to escape being treated as the youngest of the Bukayan group. If he felt humiliated, maybe he held a grudge. But that man never had the guts. Won Huri interrupted. Wait. Jihan kept a very detailed schedule. According to it, this Thursday, he has a meeting with the recruiting manager of Spot Entertainment. The time and location are written. Lee Ji-hun said, Good. If that meeting still holds, it may be useful. Lee Soo-hyun agreed. Worth checking out. If the bait is taken, the one who cast it will appear. Speaking of bait, Chairwoman, there is something we'll need your cooperation on. Meanwhile, at home, Mina's mother was anxious. Doesn't it seem like more people are dying from falls lately? At your school, that boy fell to his death. Near our neighborhood PC cafe, that knife-wielding man suddenly fell from the air. It almost feels like a killing spree. She held Mina's hand. Honestly, I'm scared for you just going to school. I heard from the detective that a girl named Lua is missing too. Too many terrible things are happening around you. Maybe you should skip school. Mina shook her head. But I can't stay at home forever. I understand you worry because of what happened back then. But I'm truly fine now. I'm not scared anymore. Her mother's voice trembled. But I am afraid. I never wanted you to go through something like that again. Isn't it a relief that you have someone dependable now? Amina frowned. What do you mean? Her mother continued. Over dinner, I shared my worries with the detective. He told me not to worry, that he'll handle your case. He said he'll be checking on you regularly. Just like Detective Chu used to. Isn't he passionate? Mina tensed. Mum, why did you do that without asking me first? Her mother looked surprised. Why? Do you feel uncomfortable with that detective? Mina quickly replied. It's not like that. The next day, Mina visited the hospital to see Chan-hee. His grandmother greeted her warmly. You came again this weekend. You really helped me last time with those complicated documents. I'm so relieved. Thank you. Mina smiled. It's nothing. It's only what you're entitled to. How is Chan-hee? The grandmother's face fell. No improvement yet. We just wait, with no promise of when. My poor boy. For now, the subsidy covers the bills. But what about later? If he never wakes up, what will happen then? I can't let grandmother bear this burden. No matter what it takes, I'll take responsibility for Chan-hee. Suddenly, a calm voice interrupted. I think I might be able to help you with that. It was Lee Ji-han, Lua's grandmother. Mina froze. Why is she here? Chairwoman Lee Ji-han approached Chan-hee's grandmother at the hospital. You must be Chan-hee's grandmother. I am Lee Ji-han, Lua's grandmother. They greeted each other politely. Lee Ji-han continued. Today I'm not here as chairwoman of Ilhe Group, but as a grandmother. I could not turn a blind eye to the misfortune that befell Chan-hee. I too am in a difficult position because of my granddaughter's situation. If you don't mind, may we speak in private? Then she turned to Mina. You must be Mina. I heard you're close to Chan-hee. She greeted Mina warmly and asked, would you mind staying with Chan-hee for a little while? Mina agreed, puzzled about the chairwoman's intentions. Before this, Lee Soo-hyun said privately to chairwoman. He asked about Chan-hee's hospital bills. Regardless of life or death, Chan-hee must remain under our supervision, Lee said. He's at the center of all these supernatural incidents. Looking back, every victim was someone who tried to harm him. Chan-hee is precious to the culprit. The chairwoman agreed and decided the Illy Foundation would sponsor the boy. Lee added one more request that required the chairwoman's approval. Back in the present, Mina asked why he was here with the chairwoman. Lee explained he was the investigator in charge of Lua's disappearance, and that he met the chairwoman often to report progress. Mina asked if Lee had come to visit his friend. She said she would visit whenever she could. Lee then dropped a shock. Miss Lua has been found. She's being transferred to Ili Hospital. Mina froze. Really? Thank goodness. Lee warned that they needed to investigate details, if Lua had reasons to hide herself. You may feel relieved that the missing person case is solved, but would Chan Hee want Lua to return? Everyone despises her. Amina shot back, Lua didn't just bully. She destroyed him. Lee fell quiet and excused himself, saying he had urgent business. He told Mina to give his regards to her mother as he left. Mina wondered why he looked so troubled. At the parking lot, Wanhari caught up with him worried. She told Lee about how many people had been hurt. Drug dealers, double agents, journalists, over 30 victims in total. If there's a hell, you and I will be cast into it, she said. Carry out your vengeance. I'll stand with you to the end. Lee, faintly encouraged, replied that he felt better and they would proceed as planned. The next day, breaking news hit the airwaves. Miss Lua of Ilhi Group had been found in the sea and was now in critical condition. The public reacted angrily at how a missing high schooler's case was handled like corporate secrecy, and students were upset too. Mina heard the report and felt the tension tighten. Lee added quietly, "The killer must be curious. Someone he thought dead is actually alive. He will suspect a lie, and once that suspicion sparks, it won't die. The culprit will come to confirm the truth." The reporter introduced herself. "Today we are going to cover the series of falling incidents. All the victims in these cases were either violent criminals or caused social unrest. Public opinion was divided. Many said the victims deserved it. Students called one of them trash who beat kids for fun, posted videos, and forced others to take drugs. Families of the victims said the judicial system had failed them, so it was no surprise people felt relief at the deaths." Back at the news station, the reporter continued. "The suspected culprit left this message. But I want to ask, can a better world really be created through murder and fear?" Elsewhere, Mina was watching the broadcast. She muttered, "Murder and fear. If you're scared, then don't do bad things." Then she saw the news about Lua being transferred to the hospital. There is no sincerity in this lie. In the middle of the sea, even a gold medal swimmer couldn't survive. They just want to cut me out. The moment I go to confirm her life or death, I'll be trapped. But it's true. I never confirmed her death. Detective, you want me to play along, don't you? Fine. Trap or not, I'll play with you. Suddenly, fire trucks rushed by. An emergency news alert appeared on her phone. A fire suspected to be arson had broken out in the district building. Rescue efforts for people trapped on the upper floors were failing. Mina smiled. "I'm curious what's prepared for me, detective. I'll play with you next time. Sorry." At the hospital, Lee Ji-han asked if the culprit would really fall for such a simple trap. Lee Soo-hyun explained, "A trap must be simple and clear. Infrared sensors are set at the entrance, the vents, windows and under the bed. The floor reacts to even the lightest weight. If any trigger, flashbangs will explode from every direction. No matter how powerful he is, once blinded, he'll lose balance. He will be no different from this mannequin. Whether he teleports in or walks in, the situation will end for him." Meanwhile, Mina was already at the burning building, saving people. Inside the fire, Mina grabbed a firefighter's camera and teleported. Giving trapped people a rope to hold, she moved them in groups of 3. Reporters caught everything live. Suddenly, someone pointed. "Look up there." More people were crying for help from the top of the building. Mina hesitated. "Too risky. If I escape now, the fire helicopter can handle it. I've done enough." But then she noticed the desperate eyes of the crowd, all looking at her with hope. She smiled, gave them a victory sign, and teleported back. At the hospital, Lee Ji-hyun watched the news in disbelief. "You were right. A victory sign in that situation. The desire to show off is beyond imagination." Mina's voice echoed. "Chan Hee, please keep watching over me. Saving people is so much fun." News channels kept replaying the rescue footage from the fire. Mina watched on her phone and felt the situation slipping out of control. Agencies, maybe even foreign intelligence, would come sniffing around if this kept going viral. A reporter asked a rescued woman what happened. The woman described choking on smoke, flames all around, and then a stranger grabbing her hand, and in a blink carrying her outside. Firefighters called the rescuer a hero. Mina blushed at the praise. It was a relief people thought the rescuer was a man. But the existence of video evidence, plus the earlier clip of her saving Chan Hee, meant it would only be a matter of time before someone tried to unmask her. Using Jihan's voice with AI wasn't enough. If anyone was perceptive, they'd suspect the recordings were manufactured. And Detective Lee's instincts were sharp. If only her father were alive. He would have been about the same age as that man. Maybe his daughter would be her age too. There was something about Lee that nagged at her. She needed to find out more. At headquarters, Lee Soo-hyun timed Mina's teleports from the footage. Won-Hari said it looked like 2 to 3 seconds per teleport. Lee agreed but warned it could be even faster. He noted how he moved 3 people at a time along the railing. There must be a weight limit. Borrowing the camera mid-rescue showed his vision was normal. After saving 15 people, he paused briefly. That hesitation could mean a distance limit or a cap on consecutive teleports. Won-Hari suggested exploiting that limit. Lee answered that even 2 seconds might be enough. They decided to release the news about Lua's VIP room hospitalization. Meanwhile, at Spot Entertainment, Cha Woo-hyek confronted a man who had harassed a woman. He calmed the woman, told the man his behavior was unacceptable, and showed the footage of him as evidence. The man tried to defend himself, his guard pinned him down. Cha Woo-hyek warned him to be careful with his reputation, and left the scene with the woman, promising protection. He scoffed aloud that if Lua had been here she would have seen through this man instantly. He ordered his team to prepare. He would visit Ili Hospital in person. Lua was someone close to him. Back at Mina's hideout, she tried to dig up more on Lee Soo-hyun, but found no clear digital trail. She suspected he might be a spy or someone who keeps a low profile. She had to confront things directly. She had no choice but to go meet him face to face. At the hospital, Lee Soo-hyun and Won-Hari were preparing for the culprit to make his move. If the culprit did not fall into the trap, they would have to move to the next plan and contact a certain person. Hearing that, Hari was shocked. At Mina's abandoned building, she was practicing teleporting relentlessly. She admitted to herself that it was not as easy as she thought, but she was starting to get a feel for it. Once she practiced in the field, she would be perfect. She thought it would be great if she had a test subject, and briefly considered Jihan, but quickly dismissed the idea, thinking that if he died during testing it would be a disaster. She wondered if she should go meet him, since it had been 3 days since she last went into the abandoned mine. Inside that mine, Jihan sat weak and thin in a corner. When he heard movement, he asked who was there. Mina appeared and asked, "Jihan, do you know who I am?" He did not reply. She thought to herself that it was confirmed. When the pierced area suffered internal injuries, his cognitive abilities had dropped significantly. "That should be enough," she whispered. "Let me thank you in advance." At the same time, in a car, Lua's fiancé spoke to his bodyguard. He asked if they were certain Lua was in a coma. The bodyguard replied that they could not be sure yet. Then he remembered the past. Back then, Lua stood alone at the corner of the party. He approached and remarked that she looked bored. She explained that her grandmother, Lee Ji-hyun, had been busy, so she came on her behalf but found the party dull. She added that maybe the event was boring because of too many old-fashioned people. He told her she had not changed but pointed out that it was rare to gather so many high-ranking officials in one place, saying it showed the influence of his company. She looked at him and said he was only doing business with his father's money, and yet was so confident. He replied that she was right, but people like them had to be good at using the resources given to them. She countered that she had not received pocket money since middle school and walked away, remarking that he considered allowance an asset. Before leaving, she told him loudly to forget their engagement and said he was not charming. Everyone around them heard her. In the present, he bit his lip thinking about her insult. At the hospital, one of the guards reported to Lee Soo-hyun that all routes to the VIP room were normal and no abnormalities were found by the drones. The VIP ICU was also normal. Hari asked what they should do if the culprit did not show up. Lee Soo-hyun said if the culprit did not show up, then it might be the limit of his capabilities. They were monitoring a 10-kilometer radius and all the hospitals in every direction, identifying everyone with facial recognition. Agents were monitoring interference. It was impossible to sneak in unnoticed. Plus, the blackout curtains blocked visibility inside the ICU. He reasoned that the culprit could not teleport into a place he could not see, and that this was the limit of his ability. He believed they could confirm it themselves today. Just then, one of his men entered the room with a report from the drone team. Hari asked if it was Jihan or Mina. The guard replied it was Mina. She had just exited the subway and was heading toward the hospital. Hari noticed Mina was watching them through the cameras. Lee Soo-hyun asked where she was heading. and his men reported she was moving toward the ICU. Lee said it was strange she came without using her power. If she had one, she still could not enter the ICU without seeing inside. He added that maybe Jahan was the real culprit and Mina, just another victim. Hari asked who really killed Lua, but Lee only said the evidence pointed to Jahan, while Mina only had circumstantial suspicion. Meanwhile, Mina saw the hospital filled with cameras, men in suits and drones. She thought all eyes were on her and found it almost exciting. She entered the bathroom, a blind spot, before walking toward the ICU again. Counting her steps, she thought she had tested enough. Hari blocked her, asking why she came. Mina said she wanted to see Lua, curious if she would wake up. Hari refused to let her in. Just then Lua's fiancé Che Woo-yuk arrived at the hospital. Lee worried their mission could be exposed if he and Mina met. Mina used a thread wrapped around her hand, which lead in bathroom and tied to a figure. At that moment, a figure teleported out from the bathroom. Hari's taser failed, and before Lee could act, the figure vanished. An explosion shook the ICU. Lee rushed inside and found Jihan dead. Mina peeked in, asking if it was really him. Lee told Hari to remove her. As she stumbled, Che Woo-yuk caught her, asking if she was alright. Mina looked at him closely, wondering who he was. Cha Woo-yuk, Lua's fiancé, shouted in shock, demanding to know what was happening and what had been done to Lua. He then recognized Lee Soo-hyun from the Foundation event. Lee thought to himself that he could not let Cha Woo-yuk see the situation. Both Mina and Lee noticed the mannequin. Mina realized this was the detective's trap, and thought it was far too shabby, apologizing in her mind for ruining everything. Hari blocked Cha Woo-yuk's path and told him entry was prohibited. She asked Mina to leave with her, but before she could touch him, Cha Woo-yuk's bodyguard twisted her hand. Hari thought her arm might break, but Lee kicked the bodyguard away. The bodyguard commented that Lee was hitting him too hard for someone just doing security work. Looking at Lee, he recognized him as Captain Lee Soo-hyun. Lee recognized him back as Sergeant Yoo Jung-hoo. Che Woo-yuk asked his bodyguard if he knew Lee. Yoo Jung-hoo said there was no one in the field who didn't know Captain Lee. Before he could finish, one of Lee's men rushed in with an emergency report. Hari asked what was happening. Mina thought to herself that it was right on time. In the hospital lobby, Lee's men reported that the place was full of reporters and cameras, making proper security impossible. Outside, a reporter was broadcasting live from Ili Hospital where Miss Lua was admitted, saying the superpowered individual was expected to pass judgment on her today. They reported that a large number of security personnel were also present. Back at the head office, Lee Ji-hyun, Lua's grandmother, was furious at the situation. Inside the hospital, Mina thought about how the superpowered being who had been executing criminals was now being linked to judging Lua, the Ili heir. She realized the media would expose every detail of Lua's crimes. Che Woo-yuk suggested leaving before the reporters noticed them. He told Lee they would meet again soon because he had many questions. He then turned to Mina and offered to escort her home safely. Lee told him to take his hands off her. Che Woo-yuk asked why Lee was so agitated, saying they couldn't leave a schoolgirl unattended. Lee warned him one last time to leave her alone. Hari shouted that this was not the time for arguments, and that they needed to withdraw immediately before reporters pushed closer. Lee then turned to Mina and told her to go straight home, and to contact her mother if anything happened. Mina agreed but thought to herself that she still had many questions about the detective. She turned to Cha Woo-yuk and agreed to go with him. He looked at her, thinking her expression felt familiar, and his heart throbbed. In the car, Mina thought the goal had been achieved. The traps were destroyed, and Lua was just a mannequin. She had given the detective a fake hero to silence everyone. She planned to wait quietly until things settled down. But she didn't notice the tracker attached to her bag. Back at the hospital, Hari asked when Lee placed the tracker. He replied that he had done it when he touched her shoulder, making sure Cha Woo-yuk would take her home so they could keep track of her location. A helicopter landed on the building, and Hari said they finally caught him. Hari wondered if the reporters gathering were part of Jahan's plan, because they had been busy arranging an emergency exit. Lee Soo-hyun, Lua's father, thought he had finally caught the murderer who killed his daughter. But deep down, he felt more relieved that Mina wasn't the culprit than he felt joy about catching Jahan. He questioned why he felt that way and wondered if Jahan really did all of this. Meanwhile, in Cha Woo-yuk's car, Mina was talking to her mother on the phone. She told her she was fine, that she saw the news, and that she was on the bus after visiting Chan-hee. After she hung up, Cha Woo-yuk told her she was very good at lying. He said he thought she came to see Lua. Mina felt uncomfortable and wondered why he was acting so clingy. His name sounded familiar to her, and she didn't understand why he kept staring. Che Woo-yuk asked if she was one of Lua's school friends. Mina said yes, even though she knew he probably didn't believe it. He kept pushing past her boundaries. Then she remembered how his bodyguard asked Lee Soo-hyun why he wasn't with JSOC in the hospital. Mina remembered how flustered Lee Soo-hyun was back then. She told Cha Woo-yuk she didn't come for Lua, but to see Detective Lee Soo-hyun because he had saved her life. Cha Woo-yuk found that interesting and doubted whether Lee really called himself a detective. Cha Woo-yuk asked his bodyguard if he knew Lee Soo-hyun. Yoo Jung-hoo said they served together in a special unit. Mina was surprised and asked if Lee Soo-hyun was a soldier. The bodyguard said yes, something like that. He found it amusing that Mina called Lee uncle. He explained that Captain Lee Soo-hyun had served with him for a long time and was respected. After Lee left the service, he often wondered how he was doing. The bodyguard laughed, saying Lee calling himself a detective was more modest than expected. Mina thought to herself that Lee's existence felt difficult to grasp. Classified, mysterious. She wondered who he truly was. Meanwhile, Cha Woo-yuk grew annoyed that Mina wasn't paying attention to him. He wondered why her eyes lit up when Lee Soo-hyun was mentioned. He questioned why he was attracted to girls like Lua and now Mina. Mina asked to be dropped off. Cha Woo-yuk asked if her apartment entrance wasn't farther ahead. She explained she didn't want her mother to see her getting out of a strange car. The bodyguard opened the door, and Mina thanked him. Cha Woo-yuk told her they would see each other again because they were both curious about each other. He handed her his card. Mina looked at it. Spot Entertainment, CEO Cha Woo-yuk. Then she remembered where she had seen his name before inside the encrypted files on Jahan's phone. Meanwhile on the news, reporters talked about a planned attack against Miss Lua, granddaughter of the Illy group. They said Chairwoman Lee Ji-hun had raised the alarm, and that the situation was explosive. The public was now questioning why Lua became a target for the superpowered individual. After watching the news, Lee Ji-hun grew furious. She said the reporters wanted to know why a lunatic murderer targeted her granddaughter. Her employees told her the situation had grown too big, and the desk producers needed persuasion. She scolded them, asking why they couldn't control even one department in their own company. As the largest shareholder, she refused to tolerate such incompetence. One worker said the press should focus on the vigilante serial killer, instead of digging into the private life of a victim. Lee Ji-hyun asked if they really intended to follow the path of yellow journalism. They agreed that she was right. They would issue guidance to focus on the killer, though individual reporters might still act independently. Lee Ji-hyun warned them that if they cared about the future of Korean media, they needed to act accordingly. After dismissing her staff, she went to see Kang Ji-hun's dead body. She asked if this was truly the man who killed Lua. Lee Soo-hyun confirmed that the attacker had appeared before him aiming at Lua. Lee Ji-hyun said there was no doubt Lee Ji-hyun tightened her grip on the corpse, calling him a maggot. She said she should have taken care of him herself long ago. She asked why Lee Soo-hyun hadn't brought Kang Ji-hun's family, demanding they be dragged there. She told him to wipe out the entire family line. Lee Soo-hyun hesitated, saying Kang Ji-hun's parents knew nothing. Lee Ji-hyun slapped him hard, saying a child's sins are the parents' sins and asking if he thought he would escape punishment for letting such filth live. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mina's mother asked her why she had lied to her. Mina's mother asked her if she had lied about being on the bus. Mina hesitated, but her mother continued, saying Detective Lee Soo-hyun had called. He said there was an incident at the hospital and Mina was involved, and that someone claiming to be the Spot Entertainment CEO had escorted her home. Mina froze in shock. She wondered why Lee had called her mother. She thought to herself that this was something her father would do. Her mother snapped her out of her thoughts, asking if she was even listening. Mina apologized and said she didn't want to make her worry. After what happened before, her mother had been distraught. She assured her nothing had happened. Her mother said she understood, but something about this awkward feeling reminded her of the past. Mina tried to change the atmosphere by saying she was hungry and wanted to eat outside. Her mother stared at her and asked if she was really telling the truth. Mina asked if something was wrong. Her mother's mind flashed back to that day, the day Mina killed the dog with a knife. Back then, Mina had been covered in blood. A mother would naturally worry, but the child standing there felt like a stranger. Mina calmly explained that Dooley had killed Senna, so Dooley had to be punished the same way. Her mother was horrified. Mina's emotionless expression made her head spin. Her mother warned Mina that her father would never let this go. Mina simply said she knew. Mina said her father didn't forgive villains, so she couldn't forgive Dooley either. If Dooley killed Senna, Dooley had to die. Her mother hugged her tightly, thinking that children cannot choose their parents, and parents cannot choose their children. She wondered what she was supposed to do with her daughter. She told Mina that although they couldn't undo what happened, they could bury it. But at that moment, Mina's father came in and saw her covered in blood, and demanded to know what she had done. Mina cried and said Dooley killed Sina, so she punished her. She apologized. Her father hugged her and told her that no matter how sad she was, she must never do such things. Dooley was a dog. Biting Sina was instinct. She must never take a life so lightly. Mina sobbed and said she was wrong. Her mother stepped in and told him they needed to clean Mina up. The father said he would take Dooley away. As Mina was being led away, she whispered to her mother with a small smile, asking if she did well. Her mother was shocked hearing that. Back in the present, Mina apologized again for lying and said she didn't want to make her mother worry anymore. Elsewhere, Lee Ji-hun told Lee Soo-hun that a child's sins were the parents' sins. If a child was raised poorly, the parents would pay the price. She said she had failed her own daughter and endured long painful years, but Lua was the only jewel left to her. Now Lua had been taken by his child. Kang Jian's parents were tied, gagged, and kneeling. Lee Ji-hun asked if they understood what she meant. They struggled to speak. Lee remembered seeing her daughter's body on the stretcher same as Jahan's parents sees him. She ordered Lee Soo-hyun to burn Jahan's parents, saying they were unfit to live. Lee Soo-hun hesitated, asking what came next. She questioned if he was hesitating now, asking if he had forgotten Lua's death. She ordered him again to burn them in front of her eyes. Lee Soo-hun said he would. And then suddenly Won Harry shot both parents from behind. He turned to her in shock. She asked if she should burn them now. Chairwoman was startled but then began to laugh, calling her bold. She said she never told him to burn them alive anyway. She told him to finish the cleanup and report to her office tomorrow. Before leaving, she ordered for Jihan's body to be preserved in the morgue freezer. Just because a superpowered man was dead didn't mean it was over. It was the beginning. Many were interested in that body. Then she mentioned one more thing, Cha Woo-yuk, the Spot Entertainment CEO. Meanwhile, Mina thought about Cha Woo-yuk as she looked at his business card. She remembered that half of Kang Jan's earnings came from Spot Entertainment. She saw strange codes on the screen and wondered what Jihan had sold to them. She considered asking the source directly while looking at Cha Woo-yuk's card. The burning house is surrounded by flames as Lee Soo-hun and Won Harry watch the bodies of Kang Jahan's parents being removed. Lee Soo-hun asks about Kang Jahan's body, and Won Harry explains it has already been transported to Ilhi Hospital. The government is sending officials to secure it. Lee Soo-hyun tells him to give the authorities the prepared scenario. Gi-han's parents were so shocked by their son's actions that they took their own lives together. Won Harry nods. Lee Soo-hun then quietly says thank you to Won Harry. Meanwhile, police report on yesterday's ICU explosion, where Lee Lua, granddaughter of Chairman Lee Ji-young of the Illy Group, was admitted. A suspected terrorist attack caused her death, and the assailant's body was also found. Investigators announced they will thoroughly examine this inhumane attack in a hospital, where lives should be protected. News of Lee Lua's death shocks the public, and Chairman Lee Ji-young cancels all schedules. Elsewhere, a reporter questions his director about cancelling this week's investigative report. The director says not to cancel. Focus on the hospital terror incident. Lee Lua's personal issues or rumors about superpowers could distort the case. The reporter asks if this is pressure from the Illy Group. The director explains it's bigger. Pressure is also coming from the government, police, and prosecutors. They want to hide the existence of superpowers, calling it a matter of national security. He then tells the reporter to continue broadcasting without authorization. The story shifts to police chasing a dangerous criminal wanted for organized crime and murder. He stabs an officer and runs. Surrounded, he refuses to surrender and suddenly disappears. Teleportation. He reappears beneath Mina, who sits calmly above him. She tells him he can't stab people and decides to hang him somewhere the police can easily find him. It will be recorded as a criminal ending himself, which she says is easier for everyone. She adds that the world doesn't need someone like him. After finishing, she thinks about acting discreetly and says there are other ways to entertain herself. Mina checks her phone and sees an invitation from Cha Woo-yuk. She wonders why a chaebol hair would invite her. While eating crackers, she remembers the CEO's words and stands. She wants answers from Cha Woo-yuk, but questions whether he might be another villain needing punishment. In the VIP room, a worker tells the president that security team leader Yoo Jung-hoo has arrived. Jung-hoo enters. The president comments that the task was finished faster than expected and asks him to clean up the mess in the room first. He admits that knowing Lee Lua is gone leaves him feeling empty. The president asks about the real cause of Lee Lua's death, and Jung-hoo reveals she didn't die from the bomb. She died earlier, drowning. Illy desperately hid it. If it were a simple accident, There'd be no need to hide it for a month, especially with Captain Lee so young involved. Internal issues must be complicated. The president then recalls Lee Soo-hyun and wonders why the chairman called him. Jung-hoo explains that Lee Soo-hyun was dishonorably discharged 18 years ago because of Ilha. Lee Soo-hun then traveled the world with Lua's mother, and even Cha Woo-yuk's bodyguard once nearly killed him. Hearing this, the president realizes Lua was Lee Soo-hyun's daughter. Jung-hoo explains that he believes Lee Lua was killed by someone with superpowers, and the chairman brought in Lee Soo-hun to avenge her. Yesterday's events were part of that. The president then brings up Kang Mina. He says Jihan appeared, then Cha Woo-yuk, then Yoo Jung-hoo. It doesn't seem like coincidence. He wonders why Mina, someone unrelated, was brought along. She should have been safe at home. The tracker in her bag was poorly attached. Jung-hoo is surprised. Has Mina caught the president's interest? She has connections to both Lee Lua and Lee Soo-hyun. The president then says that if they fit Kang Mina into this puzzle, everything forms a clearer picture. In a VIP room, a girl named Mary was unconscious, and you heard the commotion and enters that room. A worker explains that her eyes rolled back, and she stopped breathing. You asks if she drank too many cocktails, but the worker says the VIP group brought something of their own. Assemblyman Lee Myryong's son steps forward, angry, asking why they are pawning off damaged goods on him and complaining that they are ruining the mood. Yu calmly asks if he used anything other than what was provided. The assemblyman's son acts confused. Yu reminds him that bringing personal cocktails is prohibited, and says these problems happen because of members like him. Offended, the assemblyman's son blames him and picks a fight. Team leader Yu tells him to stop and says they will wrap up and handle the clean-up, asking everyone to leave. Suddenly, the assemblyman's son slaps him and yells at him to wipe off his arrogant expression. He orders him to go get Woo-yuk. Yu only smiles, saying it's always the same type of person who throws the first punch. He grabs the assemblyman's son and throws him backward, breaking the table. He tells the worker to inform the CEO about the scene caused by Assemblyman Lee Myryong's son. Then one of the other friends grabs a bottle of alcohol and throws it at Yu. Yu catches it and slams it onto the man's head. The man falls with glass scattered around him. Yu, blood on his face, checks if he is dead. The assemblyman's son panics and tries calling his father. Team leader Yu says the situation escalated because he refused to cooperate, adding that his friend died because of him. Terrified, the assemblyman's son cries for help. Then Yu coldly asks if Assemblyman Lee will have to hold a funeral for his son too. Meanwhile, Mina discovers a tracker hidden inside her bag. She wonders how long it has been there and remembers the only person who touched her bag was her uncle, Lee Soo-hyun. She realizes she has only used this bag for school. If she teleported with it, she would have get caught. She finds it unsettling. She blames herself for letting her guard down after the hospital incident. She considers smashing it but then thinks she might be able to use it. At the Spot Entertainment building, the president says yesterday's incident was handled well. Assemblyman Lee Myryong is withdrawing from the primary, and they have a week to unify their political ticket. He calls Murray's death tragic, but says sacrifices are necessary for influence. He then asks Miss Sue if she really wants to quit. Miss Sue nervously says she can't handle this work anymore and wants to leave quietly. She promises to honor the confidentiality agreement. The president tells her she is misunderstanding, she isn't even an idol yet. He asks why she wants to quit. She says she is scared. The president replies that there is nothing to fear, and if the burden is too heavy he can help. He says the legal team will process her termination tomorrow. He then tells her she should stop taking sleeping pills. Shocked, she says she doesn't take any. The president calmly explains that overdoses can be fatal and that sometimes people fall to their death in a dazed state. Suddenly, team leader Yu strangles Miss Sue from behind. The president watches and says that after Murray, now Miss Sue too, and that she wasn't worth much anyway. He asks if the meeting place for Kang Mina is ready. Yu replies yes. The president says his heart is pounding. Mina seems more special than the other assets. A news report plays, saying the bomber from the Ili hospital attack is hard to identify because the body was badly damaged. Mina listens through her phone and scoffs. She says it's impossible. They are brushing it aside. She delivered Kang Jian to them, and they can't even identify him. She comments that major news outlets are quiet about Lee Lua as well. Only small forums mention it. She realizes Ilhi Group's power is far greater than she imagined and thinks she was naive. She wonders if Lee Lua was just a mirror of chairwoman Lee Ji-han. Team leader Yu arrives and tells Mina he is here to escort her. Mina asks why, since they were supposed to meet at a nearby cafe. He says CEO Woo-yuk requested a more private place. Mina accepts but notes to herself how strange this is. Yu glances at her, thinking she is not normal for a high school girl. No fear, no hesitation, completely unreadable. Mina then asks him if he is Sergeant Yu. He says yes. She asks if he was close with Detective Lee Soo-hyun. He replies that Captain Lee saved his life. The details are classified, but he owes him everything. Mina then asks if he knows anything about Detective Lee's daughter. Yu is confused. Mina quietly says that her uncle Lee is a good person, which is why she wonders how he and his daughter grew so distant. Grandmother Lee Ji-hyun orders everyone to keep the identity of the superpowered man, Ji-han, completely classified. The National Intelligence Service has already taken custody of his body, but the government has neither the experts nor the equipment to handle a case like this. In the end, they entrusted the body to Illy Group to uncover every secret behind his abilities and potential. Lee asks if they are planning to dissect him. Lee Ji-hyun confirms that the man is one of a kind in the entire world. Suddenly, a woman behind Lee speaks up, saying that cutting him open recklessly would be barbaric. Lee turns and sees her. She introduces herself as Choi Seon-hwa, a monitoring officer from the Ministry of Science and Technology. She offers her hand and says it's nice to meet him, joking that he must be too embarrassed to shake her hand. Lee replies that science isn't really his field. Lee Ji-hyun explains that Lee isn't very sociable, but he knows the most about Ji-han and brought him in, so he will be vital to their research. Choi Seon-hwa smiles and says they will be seeing each other often, and looks directly at Lee. Elsewhere, team leader Yu continues speaking with Mina. He says he doesn't know much about Captain Lee Soo-hyun's family, because it has been a long time since he last saw him. He asks Mina why she's so curious. Mina explains that Lee seemed troubled about something, and she wonders if there is anything she can do to help. He saved her once from a terrifying place. Team leader Yu is surprised, saying Lee saved him too. Mina is shocked to hear this. Soon after, he tells her they've arrived at the location. Inside, the president greets her warmly, saying he has been waiting for her. Meanwhile, Lee checks the tracker on his phone and realizes where Mina is. He wonders why she would go there. Suddenly, Choi Seon-hwa approaches Lee again and says he promised to lead her to the man with superpowers. Harry steps in and tells her to drop the act. C says neither of them work for their original employers anymore, so why pretend? C exposes her true identity, Agent Michelle Lee of the CIA, Science and Technology Division. Choi warns Harry to keep quiet, threatening to kill her if she talks loudly again. Lee asks if this is about the superpowered man and tells her that if she wants the body, she'll have to convince the grandmother. He has no authority. He walks off. Choi suddenly hugs him from behind and says he's a fool if he thinks she came all the way here just to see a corpse. She says he's still the same, spreading false intelligence and moving every piece of the board his own way. Lee replies that she should change her tactics before she gets herself killed. Choi tells him he's still no fun. Meanwhile, Mina sits in the hotel lounge and comments that the place doesn't seem very busy. The president laughs and calls her intriguing. Mina asks what's amusing about her. He tells her he borrowed this entire lounge so they could talk privately. It belongs to the Bukyang group, so she doesn't need to worry about the bill. Mina thinks he is a typical arrogant rich man. A waiter arrives. The president orders an Indonesian Mandaling espresso for himself and a lightly roasted yogurchef for Mina. Mina stops him and orders an iced vanilla latte with lots of cream and syrup, saying plain coffee is too bitter. The president is startled. Mina thinks that renting out an entire lounge just to meet her is suspicious and wonders what he really wants. As she drinks, she thinks of Ji-han and Lua, imagining they came to places like this often. The president overhears the name Kang John and asks who that is. Team leader says he isn't sure. Mina then casually mentions that Ji-han bragged about introducing a trainee idol to Spot Entertainment last month. The president says their company never scouts people that way. Mina pretends to accept it, but in her mind, she pieces together clues. Ji-han's ledger, the symbol G, and why someone powerful would work with trash like him. The president then offers to tell her a story. He says he has a special ability. Mina looks at him curiously. He explains that because of his work, he meets many women, and over time he has learned to read emotions through their eyes: desire, anger, regret, sorrow, joy. He says they think they hide it, but to him, it's clear. He claims he could even see Mina's longing to meet him again, which is why he invited her. Mina laughs, calling it childish, and asks what he sees in her eyes now. The president says he sees lies and hatred toward Lee Lua. He says her eyes now say, "I've been found out." He leans closer and asks if his superpower is starting to interest her. Meanwhile, Lee arrives at the hotel. Harry asks about the guards outside, but Lee ignores her as he spots Mina sitting with the president. Mina looks shocked and asks how he got there. From behind Lee, Choi Seon-hwa steps forward and says, "So you are Kang Mina?" Lee Soo-hyun asks Choi Seon-hwa why she keeps following him, and if what she wants is the superpowered man's body. She replies that he hasn't changed and still knows nothing. She repeats that she has no interest in that worthless corpse. Choi Son-hwa then turns to Mina and says, "So you're the one who made Lee Soo-hyun lose his senses. You have no idea how long I've wanted to meet you." Harry steps forward from behind and tells her to get her hands off her senior. Choi Seon-hwa smirks and says Harry must have forgotten her place after so long. Harry fires back, saying she still hasn't dropped her bad habit and should stop meddling in their affairs. She warns Harry that being rude to her elder sister won't end well. Just then Cha Woo-yeok walks towards them and says it's so noisy, the atmosphere becomes tense. Team leader Yoo Jung-hoo attacks Lee Soo-hyun, but Lee dodges him easily. Yoo Jung-hoo tries again with a punch, and Lee Soo-hyun blocks it smoothly. Yoo Jung-hoo then says they're trespassing on private property, and he will call the guards. Lee Soo-hyun simply tells him to move. He came only to take Mina. The president steps in, claiming Mina is his guest and warns that Lee Soo-hyun's behavior will cause trouble. Lee Soo-hyun tells him to shut up. He says the very idea of someone like the president getting close to Mina is unacceptable. He calls the president nothing more than a pimp. Mina, hearing this, realizes her guess was right. Cha Woo-yeok is a trash that must be thrown away. But who is she? It feels unpleasant. Yoo Jung-hoo orders Lee Soo-hyun to leave the premises as head of security. He can't tolerate no more. But when Lee Soo-hyun says, "Yoo Jung-hoo, stop," Yoo Jung-hoo suddenly remembers a moment from the past, standing at gunpoint, covered in blood, with Lee Soo-hyun aiming a gun at him. Yoo Jung-hoo charges again. Lee Soo-hyun grabs his arm and throws him into the wall, leaving him bleeding. Lee Soo-hyun takes Mina with him. Outside the building, he apologizes for taking her away without asking. Mina says it is fine, because that place was not enjoyable for her either. Lee Soo-hyun warns her not to get involved with someone like the Cha Woo-yeok. Behind his polite business image, he hides things far from honorable. Mina then asks how he even knew where she was. He explains that he placed a tracker on her that night at the hospital. He didn't trust Cha Woo-yeok, so he had to confirm personally. Mina realizes how worried he truly was. Inside the car, Choi Son-hwa jokes to Harry that this is the first time she has seen Lee Soo-hyun so flustered. Harry tells her to stop clinging and sit in the back, but Choi Seon-hwa only laughs. Mina then asks Lee Soo-hyun why he would do such a thing as placing a tracker. Lee Soo-hyun tells her the story of his daughter. He says he wasn't sure, poor relationship was the right word. For 16 years, he never saw her even once. Their reunion happened only after she died. He couldn't even be there for her final moment. He wonders if he ever deserved to hear her call him father, saying he may have been projecting his daughter onto Mina, the child he failed to protect. If only he could face her once more. He stops speaking. Mina asks if she is merely a replacement for his daughter. Lee Soo-hyun apologizes, saying it was not meant to turn out like this. Mina covers her face and smiles softly. Meanwhile, Cha Woo-yeok is furious. Mina pulled everyone into this situation, and yet she walked out after just one word from Lee Soo-hyun. He asks how she dared ignore him. Team leader Yoo Jung-hoo tells him to calm down and says the prediction he made was correct. Cha Woo-yeok, surprised, asks what he means. Yoo Jung-hoo explains, if we fit Mina into the puzzle, the big picture becomes complete. Elite Group's bundle of disgrace has placed itself neatly inside the puzzle. We will ignite the fuse on the bomb, called Lee Soo-hyun, and blow up the Witch of Ili. And Mina, she will light that fuse perfectly. Mina stands on the rooftop, holding a rope tied to Deputy Manager Park's legs. She tells him her wish didn't come true. She wanted someone who would stay by her side forever. She remembers Lee Soo-hyun apologizing for everything he had done, so this is as far as they go. Lee Soo-hyun tells her the case is closed, so his work is finished. He hopes she returns to her normal life. When she says, as far as we go, he replies that they will never meet again, then walks away. Mina stares at him in shock. She thinks he is truly leaving her and shouts that she doesn't want that. She says she already knew he put a GPS tracker on her. She pretended not to know, because it made her feel like he was watching over her. When he saved her, she wandered like in a dream. It felt like her father had returned. She wished that someone as kind as him would stay by her side. Lee Soo-hyun listens, but still turns and walks away. Mina tries to stop him, but he says, I am not a good person. And on the rooftop, she looks at the sky, thinking about him. She turns to Park, who is tied up, and says he is tougher than expected. She has nothing more to ask him. Park begs her to spare him so he can return to his daughter. Mina walks closer and tells him a father who feeds girls stardust and commits vile acts isn't needed. Down below, she says Jihan, who made deals with him, is waiting for him. She will send everyone who did the same to hell, even the CEO of Spot Entertainment. And if the superpowered one acts again, she will be able to meet her uncle again. She smiles. Somewhere else, team leader Yoo Jung-hoo is informed that Deputy Manager Park is out of contact after going to meet Kang Ji-han. He asks if Park went alone. The worker replies that every team member who went with him is also unreachable. Yu Jung-hoo suspects Lee Soo-han. He wonders if Lee figured out the connection between Ji-han and the CEO, then goes to report to the president. The president asks what's going on. Yu Jung-hoo explained that Lee Soo-hyun has discovered his dealings with Ji-han. He explains that the plan to expose Lee Lua's disgrace using Ji-han fell apart once Lua disappeared and Ji-han went missing. The president tells him to get to the point. Yu Jung-hoo reveals police information. Ji-han was the superpowered one who killed Lee Lua, and Ji-han, along with his entire family, was handled by Illy Group. The president remembers the body he saw at the hospital. It was Ji-han. Yu Jung-hoo continues. If their transaction data with Ji-han has fallen into Lee Soo-hyun's hands, then the president has a big problem. The president panics, shouting that it's insane if Lee Soo-hyun thinks he hired the superpowered one to kill Lua. Yu Jung-hoo warns that if Lee misunderstood this, then the disappearance of their personnel could also be connected. The phone rings. Yu Jung-hoo answers, saying he's busy, but the caller insists. They report that the Spot Entertainment recruitment building is on fire. The fire started on the 8th floor, the HR department. Another worker rushes in with emergent report. Someone attempted to copy data using Deputy Manager Park's HR ID. The president is shocked, realizing Park was burning in the building while the data was being stolen. On another rooftop, Mina watches the burning building and says, "Chow Woo-hyuk, let's see how many sins you've piled up." Yu Jung-hoo tells the president that this has all been done by Lee Soo-han. Stealth infiltration, intelligence gathering, destruction. Those are the things he excels at. Meanwhile, Lee Soo-hyun sleeps exhausted on the couch. Won-hari watches him and says he must be extremely tired. He used to wake at the slightest sound, but since returning to Korea, he's suffered endlessly. Even more than the super-powered one. He was constantly worried about Mina. Harry wonders if he saw Mina as a replacement for Lee Lua. She thinks about the last time she saw him smile, and wishes she could make him smile again as she walks closer. Suddenly Choi Seon-hwai enters the room. Lee Soo-hyun sits up and asks how she got in. She mocks him for resting so comfortably, and says he's grown dull if he thinks everything is over. Under the couch, Harry hides, thinking she will kill Choi Seon-hwa no matter what. Choi Seon-hwa says she came to deliver news personally. Lee Soo-han replies that he is no longer interested in the superpowered one, and wants to be left alone. Meanwhile, at the hospital Chan-hee wakes up. Lee Soo-hyun asks her if she expects him to atone for what Lua did to that child. She replies that he already knows about his daughter's sins. Because he cannot face Chan-hee and the other children Lua tormented, he is unable to judge the situation rationally. Lee Soo-hyun sets his cup down and asks what she is trying to say. She tells him that no one will tell him who truly killed his daughter, and that it is Yoon Chan-hee. He is shocked to hear this. Meanwhile, Cha Woo-hyuk orders the team leader to check the CCTV cameras. Yu explains that the intruder was clearly captured, but there are many strange points. Cha Woo-hyuk says, then it wasn't Lee Soo-hyun. The team leader Yu reports that the figure was tall, wearing a hooded coat, around 175 cm with a slender build. It was absolutely not Lee Soo-hyun, and was likely a woman. Cha Woo-hyuk is shocked and wonders if it could be Won-hari, the woman who stays with Soo-hyun. The team leader Yu continues, saying that when tracking the intruder's movement path through the CCTV, there were many blank areas. Because of these missing sections, they cannot determine the exact entry route. Cha Woo-hyuk becomes irritated and says this is no time for puzzles. What matters is that the web they worked so hard to build has fallen into Il-hae's hands. If that old woman gets their data, she will tighten the noose around his neck. He orders the team leader Yu to erase her by any method. The team leader Yu smiles and tells him to calm down. Someone of his future status should not lose composure. Cha Woo-hyuk asks what he means. Yu replies that whoever took the file, he hopes they open it soon. Mina holds the pen drive, and says it contains the list of products Cha Woo-hyuk traded in the names of his clients, including politicians, judicial elites, and celebrities. If this evidence is released to the media, no to someone trustworthy, she thinks briefly about Lee Soo-hyun, but then rejects the idea because she is not even sure if he's a real detective. But the file is encrypted, and it cannot be opened easily. Mina asks if it needs a password. Yu says that even if someone enters the correct password, once the file loads on an unauthorized device, the kill switch activates. It triggers location tracking and destroys the device. The file will self-destruct no matter what, so there's nothing for the president to worry about. Suddenly, Yu receives a notification. He says, already, how impatient. The thief is closer than expected. He tells the president he will catch them. Meanwhile, Mina tries to open the file on her laptop, but it won't respond. She senses a security operator, then the laptop explodes. She realizes her location has been exposed. Mina grabs the disk, destroys everything she cannot carry, and prepares to escape. Her head begins to ache, but she says she doesn't have time for this. She is then shot in the hand. On a helicopter, the team leader aims with a scope and says he has gotten rusty. 10 years ago he would have ended it with one shot. The helicopter approaches the building. Mina's hand is bleeding. The team leader Yu tells the pilot to lower the altitude, because he cannot get a clear angle, smiling as he speaks. Once they land, he orders all units to sweep the area thoroughly. He plans to capture the thief himself. Mina, clutching her wounded hand, panics. She wonders what to do and if she can hide this wound from her mother. Yu notices light coming from inside the building. Mina then flies into the air using her powers and attacks the helicopters, destroying them. Yu realizes there is another superpowered individual. The helicopters fall to the ground and explode. Elsewhere, Cha Woo-yuk waits inside the building, irritated that the team leader Yu has not reported back. He hears someone approach and assumes it is him. But when he turns around, he sees Mina holding the injured team leader. Mina says she didn't need to think so hard about evidence. Dropping them from 10 meters is enough to make everyone obedient. Cha Woo-yuk is shocked. Mina continues, addressing Cha Woo-yuk, asking if he has ever flown in the sky. Meanwhile, Choi Xianhua receives a call saying something has happened. Everything was recorded, and it is exactly what she needed. Lee Soo-hun visits the hospital to meet the boy who has awakened.
Mina looks at her injuries and thinks there is no way to explain them. No matter how she thinks about it, everything has become sharp like a blade. She believes nothing can be undone anymore. While Cha Woo-yuk is terrified as he falls from the building with her, he begs Mina to save him. They both teleport while falling. At the hospital, Lee Soo-hun visits Yu Chani. Chan-hee asks if he is Detective Lee Soo-hyun, and Lee says yes. Lee explains that he came to ask about the kidnapping incident. The chief lady appears and asks if Lee's interrogating Chan-hee. Lee says the case is already closed and that he will be leaving soon. The chief lady then asks if he is not curious about who really killed Lee Lua. Lee tells her not to make him repeat himself and says Kang Ji-han is already dead. The chief lady steps closer and says there is still a small doubt in his heart, and that he wants to erase it. Chan-hee asks about the people who kidnapped him and Mina. Lee tells him they are all dead. Lee then asks if Chan-hee remembers anything from that day. Chan-hee says he remembers nothing, except that he saw Kang Ji-han when he left school with Mina. The doctor said he likely has amnesia from a severe head injury. In his mind, Chan-hee wonders if Mina could be involved, and becomes nervous because Lee's eyes are serious. Chan-hee says his head hurts and that he cannot continue. Lee agrees but asks one last question. Does he remember when Lua died? Chan-hee is shocked. Lee explains that Lua committed many crimes protected by the Ilya group. On the day Lua died, she assaulted Mina and Chan-hee. Lee says what Lua received was divine punishment. He asks Chan-hee if he is curious about who delivered that punishment. Chan-hee says he and Mina were powerless against Lua and suffered her abuse. Lee confirms that after the bullying, they never saw Lua again. Chan-hee agrees. Lee then reveals that officially Lua died 3 days ago in the ICU from a bomb attack, but in reality she disappeared 3 months ago and was already dead. Only the Ilya group and Lee know this. He then says that the killer is Mina and that Chan-hee witnessed it. Lee puts his hand on Chan-hee's shoulder and says Mina killed Lua with teleportation. Chan-hee denies it, but Lee says he already knows the truth and walks away. The chief lady laughs and says Lee looks like someone who knows the real culprit. Lee angrily punches the wall and asks if she already knew Mina was a superhuman. Won-hari steps forward and tells him to stop. She says he already suspected Mina, but now he is pretending to be a father instead of a detective. She reminds him that he deliberately left Mina's name out when he reported Chan-hee as the center of the Olfan. Lee remembers how Mina looked at him like a father. He realizes that fatherly feelings grew in his heart without him noticing. Overwhelmed, he collapses to his knees, coughing. Won-hari supports him and tells him to calm down. Lee cries and says there is nothing left between him and Lua. Won-hari hugs him and thinks to herself that she will destroy the darkness in his heart. Elsewhere, Mina looks at her injured hand and thinks she cannot hide it. She wonders what to do, afraid of how much it will hurt him if he sees her like this. The chief lady tells Yu Chan-hee that after the day Kang Mina killed Lee Lua, many others also died. She names the rampaging knife attacker, convicted criminals, Won Gongwoo, Wang Junsung, Han Yura, and Kang Gi-han. She says they do not even know how many more people Mina has killed since then. She tells Chan-hee that his friend has become a killing machine. The only people who can stop her are Yu Chan-hee and Lua's father, Lee Soo-hyun. Chan-hee is shocked to learn that Lee Soo-hyun is Lua's father. Chan-hee refuses and says they are from the Ilya group. He asks why he should help people who want to harm Mina. He says he is just an ordinary person and cannot stop something like this. He shouts for them to leave him alone and says he does not want to be involved anymore. But in his mind, he thinks that he must contact Mina quickly because she is in danger. Lee Soo-hun says this is a waste of time and that they need a strategy to capture Kang Mina. The chief lady says the strategy requires Yu Chan-hee. She asks Chan-hee one question: why did Mina kill Lua? Lee Soo-hun adds that Lua's actions toward Chan-hee were terrible and he sincerely apologizes. Chan-hee asks what will happen to Mina. Lee Soo-hun turns away and asks what they should do. Meanwhile, Lee Ji-hun asks if the boy has spoken. She says she forgot about him since they already caught the one who killed Lua. She orders support for Chan-hee to be stopped and for him to be discharged. The assistant agrees but says something strange happened. Lee Soo-hun and the chief lady visited Chan-hee. Lee Ji-hun is surprised and asks how far the investigation into the superhuman has gone. The assistant says the chief lady is supervising it, but no real analysis has been done and no one has met her. At that moment, Lee Soo-hyun receives a call from Mina. She begs him to save her, saying she has been kidnapped. Lee asks where she is and if she is hurt. Suddenly, he hears another voice. It is Cha Woo-yuk, who says he has business with Lee Soo-hun. He tells Lee to come alone to the location he will send if he wants Mina safe, then hangs up. But it was a trap. Mina was using Cha Woo-yuk's voice through AI. After hanging up, she smiles and says it worked. She will meet Lee Soo-hun again. When he arrives, Cha Woo-yuk will already be gone, leaving only her injured. Just like before, Lee Soo-hun's team quickly realizes the call was fake. They identify it as AI voice modulation, the same program used with Kang Ji-han. The gamma ray pattern also matches Mina's teleportation. One Hari warns that they must go immediately. Someone suggests killing Mina, but the chief lady refuses. She says Mina is a valuable strategic asset and killing her is the last option. She adds that Yu Chan-hee is the key to suppressing Mina. Chan-hee says he only came because they promised to protect Mina. If they harm her, he will not stand by and watch. The chief lady tells him that if Mina continues like this, she will be hunted forever. The chief lady then explains that Mina was first detected 3 months ago by a nuclear surveillance satellite. It recorded repeated gamma ray bursts across the capital. At first, the Pentagon thought it was a sign of war, but later they realized it was teleportation. That is when the CA began tracking her. Elsewhere, Cha Woo-yuk wakes up in Mina's second hideout. She says the first one burned down because of him. He demands to know what she plans to do. Suddenly, Yoo Jung-hoo appears and says he will kill her, but not yet, because he still has many questions. Mina senses that he knows too much. She asks if he is also a superhuman. Yoo Jung-hoo says there is no such thing, but he knows more about Lee Soo-hun than she does. Mina uses her power to lift Yoo Jung-hoo and slam him to the ground. He laughs through the pain and says he will tell her the truth. Then he drops a shocking revelation. Lee's daughter was Lua, and Mina killed her. At a US military base late at night, the chief lady stands with Lee Soo-hyun. She tells him they are about to capture a superhuman and asks if a single handgun is enough. Lee Soo-hun replies that it is more than enough. He says he will personally cut off her lifeline. Nearby, Yu Chan-hee confronts Lee Soo-hun and asks if he is really planning to kill Mina. Lee Soo-hun answers coldly. Mina killed his daughter, and he does not need anyone's help. He tells Chan-hee to go back to Lee Ji-hyun and stay out of his way. The chief lady watches the two and quietly remarks to one Hari that Yu Chan-hee standing up to Lee Soo-hyun is impressive. Chan-hee tells Lee Soo-hyun that what Mina has become is partly his fault. He says that if he had not been bullied by Lee Lua, if he had not run into the knife attacker, and if he had been stronger, Mina might never have become a murderer. No matter what Lee Soo-hyun decides, Chan-hee says he will protect Mina. The chief lady thinks to herself that everything is unfolding exactly as she planned. Elsewhere, Mina is in shock after learning that she killed Lee Soo-hyun's daughter. Yoo Jung-hoo laughs and says he is trying to help her. He tells her that her real enemy is Lee Soo-hyun. Mina uses her power to help Yoo Jung-hoo sit up. He continues, saying that Lee Soo-hyun already knows the truth and is coming for revenge. He asks if Mina is not curious how everything reached this point. Cha Woo-yuk, confused and terrified, asks what is happening. Mina teleports Yoo Jung-hoo in front of him. Cha Woo-yuk begs Mina to listen, but she silences him. She turns to Yoo Jung-hoo and accuses him of holding a grudge against Lee Soo-hun. She says he is trying to use her hands to kill Lee Soo-hun because he himself cannot defeat him. Yoo Jung-hoo admits she is right, but says their relationship is still necessary. Mina says everyone she punished deserved it, and insists she had nothing to do with Lee Soo-hyun's daughter's death. Yoo Jung-hoo reminds her that 3 months ago, she dumped a classmate's body into the sea. That classmate was Lee Lua. He tells Mina that Lee Lua was Lee Soo-hun's only daughter. He asks if she finally understands why they must work together. Mina is shattered. She remembers Lee Soo-hyun speaking about his daughter and how he saved her. She begins to cry. Cha Woo-yuk tells Mina that Lee Soo-hyun is her true enemy, and that she should rise higher by getting rid of him. Mina snaps and throws Cha Woo-yuk into the air, smashing him to the ground. Her head begins to ache again. She whispers that Lee Soo-hyun will be here soon, and that everything is falling apart. Just then, a voice calls her name. Mina turns around. It is Lee Soo-hun. He asks softly if she is badly hurt. They stare at each other, and Mina breaks down in tears. Mina's big speechless as Lee Soo-hun asks if she is okay. She tries to answer, but suddenly her body lifts into the air on its own. Mina panics, trying to explain, but in her mind she realizes her body is moving faster than she can control. Lee Soo-hun tells her to come down and says he already came here knowing everything. Mina, shocked, asks if he truly knows everything. Lee Soo-hun says he knows she is a teleporter, that she used her power to kill many people, and that one of them was Lee Lua. Mina breaks down and finally asks if Lee Lua was his daughter. She wonders if Yoo Jung-ho told him the truth. Unknown to them, headquarters is watching everything live. The chief lady orders them to stand by. The analysis team reports that Mina's gamma ray emissions are firing in millisecond intervals, nearly 1,400 times per second. The chief lady is stunned. Snipers lock onto Mina, waiting for orders. The chief lady thinks that if all 5 teams strike at once, they could capture her, but for now they must trust Lee Soo-hyun. Lee Soo-hyun walks toward Mina. She shouts for him to stop and says it makes no sense. Lee Lua was the heir of Illy Group, so how could her father be a cop? She accuses him of not even being a real detective. Yoo Jung-hoo interrupts and says she still knows nothing about Lee Soo-hyun. He reveals that Lee Soo-hyun is the world's greatest contract killer, summoned by Illy Group to kill Mina. At headquarters, Yoo Chan-hee panics and says Yoo Jung-hoo is provoking her. The chief lady stops him and says this process is necessary to tame the monster. Mina, shaken, asks Lee Soo-hyun if he really deceived her. Lee Soo-hyun replies that she is no different from him. Mina says things are clear now, he is just a killer who works for money. Lee Soo-hyun answers that she is not an ordinary high school girl either, because she killed his daughter. Mina declares that she has no choice but to kill him. She teleports behind him and wraps a rope around his neck. Lee Soo-hyun instantly cuts the rope and punches her in the face, sending her to the ground. He tells her, first, when the difference in power is overwhelming, avoid close combat. Mina tries a wide area overlap attack, but he slices through the fragments instantly. She is shocked by his reaction speed. Lee Soo-hyun continues second, never used the same technique twice. He throws a knife and says she already used the rope once at the National Police Agency. He will not fall for it again. Mina shouts at him. He adds third, always watch your surroundings. Mina is stunned as he overlaps with the fragments created by her own attack. The chief lady realizes that Lee Soo-hyun has perfectly read Mina's teleportation pattern and suppressed her. Yoo Chan-hee cries out, asking why they are fighting when they were supposed to persuade her. Lee Soo-hyun steps closer to Mina, who is lying on the ground. He pulls out a gun and points it at her. They lock eyes. He fires a shot, just beside her head. Lee Soo-hyun asks Mina why she is not running away. He says she could throw him into the sea right now. Mina replies that when she was young, she killed a family dog. The dog had beaten and killed the rabbit they were raising, and she thought it deserved punishment. She says that since she killed his daughter with her own hands, it is only natural that he would take revenge on her. If it is her fate to die, she wants to leave it in his hands. After hearing this, Lee Soo-hyun lowers his gun and sits down. He asks Mina what he should do with her. Mina, confused and guilty, asks him what he would do if he were her real father. Lee Soo-hyun steps closer. Mina remembers the night she killed the dog and how she deceived her own father, living behind a mask. She hugs Lee Soo-hyun and says he is the only person who truly knows her. Lee Soo-hyun suddenly raises the gun to her forehead. Mina smiles while looking at him. Lee Soo-hyun begins to cry and then fires the gun into the air. He tells her to stand up and says he will teach her everything. He offers his hand and Mina grabs it. Yoo Chan-hee is shocked. The chief lady claps and says Lee Soo-hyun has finally put a leash on her. Yoo Chan-hee is confused. He thinks the one with the leash is Lee Soo-hyun, not Mina. He feels that Mina now looks like a completely different person. Yoo Chan-hee asks the chief lady what they plan to do with Mina. The chief lady tells him not to worry. She says Mina has already accepted Lee Soo-hyun as her father, and now it will be easy to control her. She claims she has thousands of plans to persuade Mina. Won-hari agrees and says Mina can become the most powerful weapon. With her, they would not even need missiles or special forces. Yoo Chan-hee says Mina would never obediently follow orders. Won-hari replies that this is why they brought Lee Soo-hyun. The chief lady agrees. She says the CIA will remain in the background while Lee Soo-hyun becomes the one who communicates with Mina. As long as the superhuman tracking system remains under their control, Mina will exist under their approval. Lee Soo-hyun will become the filter between the United States and Mina, so she does not lose control. Won-hari says Mina will no longer be an uncontrollable murderer. She will become a cleaner who removes only the targets they select. Yoo Chan-hee is horrified. He realizes they are planning to use Mina as a killing weapon. The chief lady says this is not unfair. She reminds them that both Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hari were also once contract employees. Suddenly, a sniper team reports that someone is escaping from the rear of the house. They identify the person as Yoo Jung-hoo, the man Mina abducted. The chief lady is shocked. She orders all units to track him. Military teams are authorized to eliminate Yoo Jung-hoo if necessary. Yoo Jung-hoo runs through the forest, realizing that Chawuyuk is finished and he is now alone. As he escapes, he thinks about what he just witnessed and wonders if Lee Ji-hyun knows that her own son-in-law is betraying her. Michelle Lee and Won-hari stand outside with the military, waiting for Lee Soo-hyun and Mina. Won-hari asks if this is really okay. Michelle tells her not to worry, orders all units to withdraw, leaving only the sniper team. She says she does not want her precious muse to be startled. Michelle approaches Mina and introduces herself as Michelle Lee from the CIA Directorate of Science and Technology. Mina ignores her. Michelle laughs and says they will get to know each other slowly. Lee Soo-hyun quietly tells Mina to do as he taught her. Mina suddenly grabs Michelle's hand and teleports. The soldiers panic, and Won-hari demands to know what happened. The military begins searching for them. Lee Soo-hyun says his role ends here, and that Michelle will handle everything from now on. Michelle reappears floating in the air and lands on a cushion. She laughs, saying this is how teleportation feels. Mina mocks her, saying CIA agents are not impressive after all. She steps closer and demands that Michelle explain herself. Michelle asks if Mina is worried about Yu Chan-hee. Mina is shocked and asks if he woke up. Michelle says she only wants to make a proposal. She invites Mina to join the CIA. She says she has been waiting to meet her ever since the satellites detected the strange light signals. She claims she knows all of Mina's secrets, including the people she loves. Mina asks what Michelle wants from her. They float into the air, and Mina suddenly teleports Michelle into the sea. Michelle shouts that she is a good swimmer and that threats like this will not work. A rope drops from the sky, and Mina pulls her back and teleports her again. Mina says Michelle does not understand her at all. She says her mother, Yu Chan-hee Lee Soo-won, and her ordinary life are what she truly cherishes. If she had protected those things, she would never have started killing. At headquarters, officers report they still cannot track Mina. Her teleport pattern keeps changing. Lee Soo-han realizes real-time tracking is impossible. Michelle tells Mina that she has a strong connection with Lee Soo-han. Mina smiles and says the man who lost his daughter is already on her side. Mina says she wants a constructive discussion. She admits she is just a high school student and cannot find all criminals alone. She says the CIA should help her, and in return she can handle some of their work. Michelle shouts that this is exactly why she wants Mina to join the CIA. Mina refuses. She says that would mean taking orders. She wants a one-on-one deal. They teleport again and appear in a classroom. Mina says the chase is over and asks Michelle to make a deal. Michelle says Mina is arrogant for trying to negotiate with the CIA. Mina replies that she is too valuable to throw away. Michelle admits she knows Mina's limitless potential. Back at headquarters, all sniper operations are terminated. Michelle walks back to Lee Soo-hyun, holding Mina's hand. She smiles and says she kept him waiting. Mina looks at Lee Soo-hyun, smiles, and raises a victory sign. Yu Chan-hee is shocked when he sees Mina. She walks up to him, hugs him tightly, and cries. She apologizes again and again, saying she's glad he came back. Lee Soo-hyun watches quietly. From behind, Won-hari warns him. She says Mina is a monster who is tightening the noose around him, and that it is not too late to remove her. Lee Soo-hyun stops Won-hari, and says that maybe he really is being deceived, but he adds that it does not matter anymore. He does not want to lose anything else. He remembers the past, when Lee Ji-han's daughter, Jeong, once confessed to him. She said she did not run away because of love, but because she wanted to destroy her mother's control. She said Lee Soo-hyun was the wolf that could crush Lee Ji-han and give her freedom. She told him she loved him. Back in the present, Mina tells Lee Soo-hyun that even now, she still collapses into his embrace. Lee Soo-hyun explains that Michelle wants to take Mina away, but there are still problems. Yu Jung-hoo has escaped. He knows Mina's identity and powers, witnessed the murders, and holds a grudge against Lee Soo-hyun. He is being tracked with help from the Korean government. Mina says there is no need to search for him. She says it is obvious where he went and that she must settle things herself. She asks for support as promised. Michelle smiles and agrees. Mina asks her to prepare her glasses. As Mina leaves, Yu Chan-hee stops her. She takes his hand and says she will send him home. He asks if she is really okay following them. Mina tells him that the day she threw Lee Lua into the sea, she crossed a river she can never return from. She says she does not regret it. She tells him goodbye, saying once she finishes this, nothing will threaten him anymore. She teleports him away. Mina's nose begins to bleed. She teleports again, returning home and showering. When she comes out, she notices a paper on the table that says, "Do you miss your mother?" Mina smiles and says everything is turning out exactly as expected. At Lee Ji-hyun's office, Director Park Soo-chun from the NES arrives. The bodyguard asks for permission, and Lee Ji-hyun allows him inside. She coldly asks why it has difficult to see his face lately. Park bows and apologizes, but Lee Ji-hyun mocks him, saying his habit of reading the room has not changed. She directly brings up Michelle Lee, also known as Choi Sang-hwa, revealing that she is actually CIA, not part of the Ministry of Science. Lee Ji-hyun accuses Park of hiding the truth. In anger, she throws tea in his face and demands confirmation that Kang Mina is the real superhuman. She accuses them of deceiving her and letting Mina escape after killing her granddaughter. Park insists this is a matter of national security. He explains that every powerful country wants Mina's ability, and that with the United States taking the lead, there is nothing they can do. He claims Illy Group will still benefit by holding a central position in this national project. Lee Ji-hyun explodes in rage. She calls this talk of greater good, not but greed for power, money, and privilege. She says Mina killed her granddaughter and demands repayment in kind. She warns Park never to stand in her way again. Elsewhere, Mina's mother wakes up tied to a chair. She panics, remembering she was on a call with Mina before being abducted. Yu Jung-hoo enters and calmly tells her she was brought in a hurry. He reveals that what matters most is Mina's love for her mother, then shows her a bomb, terrifying her. Yu Jung-hoo calmly reassures her, then strapped a bomb tightly around her neck. Yu Jung-hoo contacts Lee Ji-hyun through a video call and shows Mina's mother. Lee Ji-hyun coldly mocks her, calling her the mother of a murderer. Yu Jung-hoo tells Lee Ji-hyun that if his conditions are met, he will personally deal with both Lee Soo-hyun and Kang Mina. On another front, Michelle Lee finishes a phone call and tells Won-hari that someone very high up is involved. She then turns to Mina and says she has both bad news and good news. Mina immediately guesses the bad news. Her mother has been kidnapped. Michelle confirms it. She explains that Yu Jung-hoo has handed everything over to Ilhe Group, including Mina's powers and the truth about Lee Lua. She adds that even Lee Soo-hyun turning against Ilya is now known. The good news, Michelle says, is that Mina has received her very first assignment. Won-hari is shocked, but Michelle insists this is real. Lee Soo-hyun tells Mina to accept the job, saying she has no real choice. If it succeeds, her mother and Yu Chan-hee could both be protected. Mina agrees. Later, Mina stands alone on top of a building. Won-hari approaches her, questioning whether she even worries about her mother. Mina smiles, teleports behind her, and quietly asks if Won-hari dislikes her that much.
Won-hari attacked Mina with a knife. But in an instant, Mina teleported away. Mina looked at Won-hari and asked if this was her answer. Won-hari replied coldly that she knows people like Mina very well. Even if Mina hides behind a mask, she can see through her. Mina only thinks about stabbing people in the back. Mina calmly said stabbing people is actually Won-hari's specialty. She had felt it from the moment they first met. She said they were similar. Won-hari denied it immediately. But Mina continued. She said Won-hari has no real interest in others and cannot share her heart. Something inside her is broken. And the only person who understands that emptiness is Lee Soo-hyun. Won-hari tried to stab her again but stopped. Mina said she cannot kill her because Lee Soo-hyun would be sad. Won-hari trembled with anger. She wanted to kill Mina, believing this girl would ruin Lee Soo-hyun. She pushed forward again, but then suddenly threw the knife away and called Mina a monster. She asked what Mina wanted. Mina said she needed her help. Won-hari hesitated. Mina told her she would find it interesting. Elsewhere, Lee Ji-hyun spoke with Yu Jung-hoo through a video call. Lee Ji-hyun reminded him that he was once sent to capture Lee Soo-hyun. Yu Jung-hoo said he was honored she remembered him. Lee Ji-hyun asked if he planned to complete that mission now. She questioned why he wanted to kill both Lee Soo-hyun and Mina. Yu Jung-hoo said he had witnessed Mina's power himself. A dangerous killer with such ability cannot be left alone, and Lee Soo-hyun had betrayed her by protecting Mina. He said the only way to survive now was to side with Lee Ji-hyun. She agreed but mocked his confidence. He had nearly died at Lee Soo-hyun's hands before. Yu Jung-hoo replied that they could force the situation, so that Lee Soo-hyun and Mina would have no choice but to surrender. He asked for one thing, a clear photo of Michelle. Lee Ji-hyun agreed. Then she spoke about Lee Soo-hyun. She wanted him captured alive. She wanted to watch him suffer piece by piece for abandoning her granddaughter. Yu Jung-hoo admitted Lee Soo-hyun was strong, but said Mina could be used against him. Then Mina received a call. It was her mother. Her mother warned her not to leave the house. Mina immediately realized what was happening. She demanded Yu Jung-hoo release her. Yu Jung-hoo calmly replied that her mother was necessary to keep the balance. Mina begged him to let her go, offering anything. Yu Jung-hoo said he had only one request. Bring Lee Soo-hyun to him. Mina asked if her mother would be freed if she did it. He promised she would. After the call ended, Mina smiled. But in her mind, she knew he was lying. She realized he wanted to kill all of them. Her mother and Lee Soo-hyun. Her expression turned cold. She decided she would kill Yu Jung-hoo first. Meanwhile, Michelle tracked Yu Jung-hoo's location. Lee Soo-hyun looked at the data and realized it would not be easy. Yu Jung-hoo was a former black agent using a burner phone. The location was a construction site stadium about 20 kilometers away. It felt like a trap. Then Yu Jung-hoo called again. This time, he wanted to speak with Michelle. She answered confidently, but suddenly, her expression changed. She quickly searched something online. Then she said in shock, "How dare you?" Mina and Lee Soo-hyun were confused. Then Mina saw it. Her identity had been exposed. A news report revealed the teleporting killer. And just like that, Mina's secret was gone. Now the whole world was watching. And everything was about to spiral out of control. The news began exposing everything. Not just Mina, but even Michelle's identity as a CIA agent operating in Korea. Michelle immediately realized what Yu Jung-hoo was doing. He had taken a huge risk. Yu Jung-hoo said this was only a preview. The next report would reveal everything. A story about the United States secretly taking control of a Korean high school girl with superpowers. He said this would spark global protests. People would question why such a powerful weapon was being monopolized. Michelle understood his demand. Yu Jung-hoo wanted only one thing: protection. He wanted the CIA to guarantee his safety from Mina. He warned that if he died, all the information would be released worldwide. Michelle stayed calm, but the situation was now out of control. At the same time, Mina leaned over Michelle's shoulder and saw the report. Then she spoke. She had already found Yu Jung-hoo's location. Above a basketball stadium. Michelle handed the call to Mina. Mina spoke directly to Yu Jungho and told him she would bring Lee Soo-han, just as he wanted. But before he could even respond, Amina had already teleported with Lee Soo-han to the stadium. Yu Jungho was shocked. He had not expected them to arrive so quickly. Lee Soo-han immediately analyzed the situation. He said Yu Jungho was nervous. He had not fully prepared. But he was still dangerous. Yu Jungho, on the other hand, was thinking fast. He needed more time. Support from Lee Ji-han's side would arrive soon, but not yet. Even so, Mina came without hesitation, ignoring the danger to her own life and her mother's. To him, she looked almost calm. Mina began searching the stadium by teleporting rapidly. She checked every corner, every room, looking for any sign of life. Lee Soo-hyun warned her to be careful. If her sensor detected anything, she should keep her distance. Entering blindly could be fatal. Mina agreed. Meanwhile, Mina's mother was still tied up, worried and praying that Mina would not come. Lee Soo-han knew Yu Jungho would not make things easy. He had time to prepare traps. This was not going to be simple. He contacted Michelle and told her to prepare the equipment and team. Michelle warned that activating it could destabilize communication. Lee Soo-hyun said it did not matter. Saving Mina's mother came first. Then Mina stopped. She found a door. She was sure someone was inside. As she reached for it, Lee Soo-hyun suddenly shouted her name. A gunshot echoed. Yu Jungho had fired from a hidden position. Mina barely teleported in time to avoid the bullet. The fight began instantly. Mina attacked by throwing heavy objects toward Yu Jungho. He dodged and fired again from below. The bullet narrowly missed her. Then he ran toward the stairs and threw grenades. Lee Soo-hyun rushed forward as the explosion went off. He called out to Mina. She reappeared, injured, with glass shards stuck in her body. Lee Soo-han quickly pulled her into cover. He told her not to freeze in the line of fire. The enemy was a trained marksman. Charging head-on would get her killed. Her power was not meant for reckless attacks. It was meant to control space. Mina understood. Back at the command center, Michelle confirmed everything was ready. The equipment and team were in position. Lee Soo-han made the final call. Even if it risked everything, they would proceed. Once the hostage was secured, Yu Jungho would lose his advantage. Then Lee Soo-hyun looked at Mina, calm, serious, and said, "It's ready now. Show me the real you." Yu Jungho sighed. He knew they were coming straight in. The sniper shot had missed, but he still had many tricks left. As long as Lee Ji-han's support arrived in time, everything would go according to plan. He believed that the moment Mina tried to save her mother, it would all be over. Meanwhile, Michelle informed Lee Soo-hyun that 3 trucks from Lee Ji-han's group were heading toward the stadium. Their contents were unknown, possibly ground troops. Lee Soo-hyun stayed calm and observed the building carefully. Through his scope, he located Mina's mother inside a room. But he knew rushing in blindly would be a mistake. Yu Jungho was definitely waiting with traps, explosives, most likely. Then he noticed something important. The earlier bullet impact. He realized something. If simple physical contact could trigger bombs, Yu Jungho would not have fired like that, which meant the traps were not triggered by impact. At that moment, Mina returned with one Harry. She had already brought the equipment Lee Soo-hyun requested, all the way from a US base in seconds. Even one Harry admitted it. Teleportation was terrifying but incredible. Lee Soo-hyun nodded. It was time. The stadium went completely silent. Yu Jungho waited with his rifle. He found it strange. Lee Soo-hyun had arrived, yet there was no reckless movement. No panic. Even Mina did not seem desperate to save her mother. To him, she felt unpredictable. Then he noticed something near the door. A bag, too obvious, too simple, it felt like bait. He hesitated. On the other side, Lee Soo-hyun was watching through a small camera. He confirmed it. What looked like a tripwire was just a distraction. Yu Jungho was trying to control the space and lure them in. Lee Soo-hyun spoke calmly. He said Yu Jungho had always been like this. Too greedy. Trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone instead of taking the simplest shot. If he had just aimed for the head from behind, it would have been over. At that exact moment, Mina appeared behind Yu Jungho. Yu Jungho reacted instantly and fired. But Mina teleported. She countered with her rope weapon. He blocked it with his rifle. Then he smirked. He said he had been waiting for this. He attacked again. But Mina kept teleporting, barely avoiding every shot. Yu Jungho analyzed her movements. He said her patterns were predictable. Sneaking behind people. Going for the same attacks. That was all she knew. Mina got frustrated. She shouted back. Then suddenly, explosions went off around her. Yu Jungho took cover and laughed. He believed she had fallen into the trap. He said she had learned nothing. But when he stepped out, Mina was gone. Then her voice came from behind him. She said she had been right under his nose the whole time. And now, he had destroyed his own trap. Yu Jung-hoo turned and fired again. But Mina moved faster, teleporting through tight gaps, avoiding every bullet. Then she appeared behind him again. This time calm, confident, she mocked him. She said his bullets were slower than Lee Soo-hyun's fists. Yu Jung-hoo lost his composure. He called her a monster. Mina smiled. She said if that was all he had, it was her turn. In an instant, Yu Jung-hoo realized the truth. He was no longer hunting her. He was trapped in his own wires. Yu Jung-hoo struggled on the ground, shouting for Mina to stop. But Mina just smiled. With one powerful blow, she knocked him down. He coughed blood, barely able to move. Yu Jung-hoo shouted at her, asking if she had lost her mind. He reminded her that her mother's life was still in his hands. Mina said nothing. Yu Jung-hoo pulled out his phone and tried to trigger the bomb, but nothing happened. He froze. The bomb had already been disarmed. One Harry had taken care of it. She said he had made things unnecessarily complicated. Lee Soo-hyun warned them not to relax. He had blocked the signal, but the bomb could still detonate from physical impact. Yu Jung-hoo panicked. Then he laughed. He told Mina to kill him if she wanted. The moment he died, her life would be over too. But Mina didn't care. She said if her identity was exposed, it would not be the end. It would be a new beginning. She even smiled, saying it sounded fun. She imagined her face spreading across the world, even reaching places like Times Square. She said people would love her. And if Yu Jung-hoo wanted to reveal everything, then he should go ahead. Before he could react, Mina struck. Her hand pierced straight through him. Outside, Lee Ji-hyun's support trucks were arriving. But suddenly, Yu Jung-hoo's body was thrown onto the road. The driver tried to stop but couldn't. The impact shook everything. Then Mina appeared. She greeted them calmly. And in an instant, she used her power to crush the trucks by overlapping steel beams. The vehicles exploded. Mina looked at the destruction and smiled. She said the CIA would handle the cleanup. Then she teleported away. Back inside, Mina's mother woke up, confused and scared. Then she saw Mina. They hugged tightly. Mina said it had been a long day. Her mother asked what was going on. She had heard strange things and didn't understand anything. At that moment, Lee Soo-hyun entered. He said he would explain everything. He told her that Yu Jung-hoo was part of the group that kidnapped Mina before. He had come back for revenge. Then her mother asked about something else. Why had Lee Ji-hyun called Mina a murderer? Lee Soo-hyun answered calmly. He said everything started from Lee Ji-hyun's delusion. She wrongly believed Mina killed her granddaughter Lua. But the truth was different. The real culprit was someone else. And now it was time to settle everything. At Illy Group headquarters, Lee Ji-hyun received the news. Yu Jung-hoo was dead. She showed no emotion. She called him a useless fool and immediately moved to her next plan. She ordered her people to spread chaos, leak everything to the media, paint Mina as a dangerous psycho killer, expose the CIA's involvement. With elections coming in both Korea and the US, she planned to turn the entire world against Mina. She wanted to crush her completely. But before she could continue, a voice interrupted her. Mina had already arrived, teleported outside the window of the building. Lee Ji-hyun was shocked. Mina stepped inside calmly. She said the CIA had given her the exact location. Then she asked one question. Did Lee Ji-hyun really try to kill her mother? Lee Ji-hyun shouted for security. But Mina just laughed. And then she said she would send her to join Lua. At Ellie Group, the situation was already escalating beyond control. A report was being delivered at the highest level. The president of South Korea was informed that Lee Ji-hyun had become unstable after her granddaughter's death. Her actions were now going against national interests. It was clear, something had to be done about her. Meanwhile, inside Illy headquarters, Amina stood in front of Lee Ji-hyun. Calm, unshaken, she asked if Lee Ji-hyun was not supposed to be with Lua. Lee Ji-hyun immediately ordered her guards to shoot. Gunfire filled the room. But Mina teleported instantly. Using her rope, she struck all of them in seconds. An explosion followed. Every guard collapsed. Lee Ji-hyun fell to the ground. But even then, she laughed. She told Mina that no matter where she ran, the entire world would hunt her. Her life, her mother's life, Yu Chan-hee's life, all of it would turn into hell. Mina just looked at her, silent. Then Lee Ji-hyun froze for a moment. Those eyes, they felt familiar, just like Lua. She began laughing even louder. She said it was cruel. That a murderer could look like her granddaughter. Mina paused. She asked what she meant. Lee Ji-hyun revealed the truth she believed. She said Lee Soo-hyun betrayed her because Mina was just a replacement for Lua. A substitute. A puppet. She crawled closer and whispered to Mina, "Kill Lee Soo-hyun, and she would set her free. No CIA, no government. No one would control her. She could become someone above everyone. Mina said nothing. She simply knelt down. Then quietly, she said she was not a replacement. In an instant, she teleported Li Jihyun. High above the ocean, Li Jihyun realized too late. This was exactly how Lua died. As she fell, she screamed Li Su-hyun's name. She called Mina insane. She said Li Su-hyun's new daughter would drag him to hell. Mina just watched. Without emotion, Li Jihyun disappeared into the ocean. After that, Mina teleported to the beach. She stood there alone. She said everything was finally over. No one would hurt Yu Chan-hee anymore. No one would threaten her mother again. But then her thoughts turned darker. If she had just endured it back then, maybe none of this would have happened. Still, she had no regrets. Her body was already breaking apart. A memory appeared. On a rooftop, she had once spoken to Won Hari. She told Won Hari the truth. Her power was going out of control. She was teleporting thousands of times without even realizing it. Her body was collapsing. She was slowly disappearing. So she made a request. When everything was over, Won Hari should kill her. Back in the present, Mina stood on the beach. She said at the very least, she had to pay for killing Li Su-hyun's daughter. Then suddenly a voice came from behind her. She turned around. It was Li Su-hyun, and their story was not over yet. Mina panicked. She never wanted Li Su-hyun to witness this. Her body began breaking apart as uncontrollable teleportation bursts threw her across multiple locations at once. She begged him to leave. She could barely survive the pain because of her powers. She had no chance of enduring it. But Li Su-hyun refused to let go. He wrapped his arms around her, enduring hundreds of violent teleportations every second. Together they flashed across the ocean, cities, forests, and countless places throughout Korea. Blood poured from Li Su-hyun's mouth. Only then did he understand the unbearable pain Mina had been suffering all this time. Using the last of her strength, Mina tried to push him away, begging him to let go before they both died. He refused. At last, after enduring unimaginable pain, Li Su-hyun found the strength to speak. He confessed that he had failed to protect his wife. He had also failed to protect his daughter. He had not been there when either of them died. He refused to fail again. Holding Mina tightly, he promised he would never allow her to disappear alone. Both of them had taken countless lives. Running away through death would never erase their sins. If she was going to die, she would die in front of him. He would stay beside her until her final breath. Hearing those words, Mina regained enough control to return them both to the beach. She broke down in tears. If she had known Lua was his daughter, she never would have killed her. She also apologized for trying to disappear without taking responsibility for everything she had done. Li Su-hyun answered that apologies alone could never erase the lives they had taken. Neither of them had the right to escape. They had to continue living and carry the weight of their sins until the very end. He would remain responsible for her until her last second. Mina quietly asked if he truly intended to stay with her. He answered without hesitation. Then they embraced. At that very moment, Mina lost control once again. A blinding explosion of teleportation light erupted across the sky. All over Korea, countless teleportation signals appeared simultaneously before spreading across the entire world. No one could track her anymore. 5 years passed. Chan-hee had become a teacher, living a peaceful life. One day, while saving a child from an oncoming accident, he suddenly felt a familiar teleportation. When he opened his eyes, both he and the child were safe. A familiar voice smiled and said that he still had not changed. Chan-hee looked up just in time to catch a glimpse of Mina. She was alive. Her eyes were bleeding, but she smiled before disappearing once again. Elsewhere, reports spread about a mysterious yellow flash that had rescued 40 trapped miners in only a few minutes. The world knew nothing about the mysterious savior. Meanwhile, Won Hari scolded Mina for using her powers during her recovery period. She warned that every unnecessary teleportation pushed her body closer to falling apart again. Mina insisted she had only been helping people. Won Hari reminded her to keep taking her medicine and to stop frightening Li Su-hyun by risking her life. Remembering the promise she had made long ago, Mina quietly agreed. Soon after, a new mission arrived. Dangerous nuclear weapons had been stolen. Li Su-hyun was already on his way. Without hesitation, Mina teleported after him. Since then, Mina, Won Hari, and Li Su-hyun had continued working together from the shadows, saving innocent lives while eliminating threats that no one else could stop.